Are we live?
We're live.
We're officially live?
We're live.
How do I sound? Do I sound good, Matt?
To me, you do. Hey, people in the chat.
Yo.
Could you do me a favor?
Hey, Donna. Hey, Scott. Yeah.
Are we good?
Can you hear us? Man, I look good on camera tonight. I don't usually look good. Dude, what the hell? I usually look like a horrible ghost. But I think I look okay tonight. Let's see. I hope people can hear us. I want to just make... You know what? There's an easy solution to this. I can figure this out.
No one wants to watch you watching other things.
Hey, Donna. Hey, okay, Scott. Good. Yeah, we're live. We're good. That's my test. So anyway, welcome to Awesome Talk,
so if
Season
I see
12.
a horrible ghost, it's going to look like you?
Yes.
That's how you'll be able to differentiate.
Yeah.
That's a horrible ghost.
Yeah.
It looks like,
Are you
right?
one of the
Watch
13
out.
ghosts?
He's Marley.
Yeah, I'm Marley.
You look like the guy that raped Casper.
Oh, man.
Is that wrong?
Shit.
Should I leave?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Sorry.
Welcome to Awesome Talk, Season 12, Episode 7, on January 21st, 2020. Tonight, we have a great show for you. And we have some really wonderful guests lined up. So as you can see, we've been sitting here, we've been partying a little bit, having a few drinks already, getting started. It is so happy to see everybody in the chat. Chance, what is up, man? Donna, what is up? Rob, what is up? Scott, what's up? Brandy, what's up? How is it going? Let's see. Rick is the ghost of Christmas fucked. I would say that's accurate. That's accurate. And if anybody's watching us in one of the watching parties, just go to the Awesome Talk page and watch it from there, because that's where the big chat is, and you're missing out. So like, even if you didn't want to join the conversation, it's at least there for you. So we have a great show for you tonight. I want to first welcome our two guests tonight. English professor and a friend of mine, Jack Kelnhofer, is in the house tonight.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me, my friend. I'm happy to be here.
And I can't believe she said yes and came here. But we're so happy to have her. Erin, Incoherent, came here tonight. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So, now what I'd like to do is, I'd like to do a quick around the bar.
Yeah!
I want to do a quick
Never
around the
quick,
bar.
and they're rarely actually around the bar.
Okay, well, we're going to try. So this is where you say something. Did you guys want me to do the thing where I introduced everybody else instead?
It's less work for us.
It's less work?
I mean, I liked it. Well,
I'm undecided
I was on the fence
on the whole
about
matter,
that
really.
one, but-
All right, well.
I'm just saying.
I want to see what you think about them.
Okay, well,
It's rarely good.
here we go.
Let's see what you have to say.
Wow, that was crazy.
Someone knocks upon the Awesome Talk
but that was
door.
perfect.
So look, listen. I think it would probably be just better. I'm going to take that as a sign.
You're gonna be excited that you didn't miss this part.
Oh, my
No,
Lord.
he's not going to be excited about it. He's going to be happy about it. Hey, what's up, Mom? Mom's in the chat.
I think I'm the
Mom,
only
is
one
it-
on his side with the around.
Hello,
Hi,
Mom.
Mom.
I'm just
Yeah, but you're only on his side because we all hate it, not because you actually like it.
Yeah, you're kind of getting off in everybody else's misery there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we
not
get
the
like
same thing.
1 to 2 camera clicks a show. That's my one.
Well, all right. Well, listen. So I think it'd probably be better if we introduced ourselves, said something about ourselves. I think I'm going to take that as a sign when I did that. Okay? I'm Rick. I'm your host.
You can't say that every time.
Fine. Fuck it. I will introduce everybody.
If you had to say something different
Say
every
something
time, you'd
about
hate it as much as us.
Fine.
Say something about yourself.
I'm Rick, and I recently had spinal surgery where they went in through my throat. And now I'm starting to feel better. Hi, Pat. How's it going?
Hey.
Not you. Next, to my right, I would like to welcome very famous child actor, Pat is in the house.
Very
That is
famous.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
What were you in, Pat? Nothing?
Just commercials and shit.
Yeah.
Ah.
Type.
Yeah.
He was in a Pizza Hut commercial during the Super Bowl in 1990.
All right, well, that's not
Damn
too bad.
right.
So, hey, Rob, what's up, man? So, coming through for us in an unbelievable clutch moment, we are so happy to have Erin Incoherent here tonight. Not just hanging out with us, but performing tonight. I want to hear a round of applause.
It'll be my first performance of 2020.
Oh, that's dope,
I had
man!
to miss last week's show. My car.
Oh my god, I hope we don't fuck it up, dude. Oh my
You?
lord.
You hope you don't mess it up?
Oh my god.
It's a little too much groping over there.
Thank you,
That is
thank
rough.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot.
He gets a little handsy, that guy.
I'm happy that you tried really hard to make sure you were here to not miss the around the bar action, because I know how much you love it.
You're
No,
just
you
in
didn't miss
time,
it.
actually.
It's happening
No,
right
but if you
now.
want to go back outside for a couple
I
minutes,
kind of, I'm not going to be, I'll
understand.
be honest with you, when I found out Jack Kelnhofer was on the show, I realized I didn't have to be here.
because my doppelganger was here.
I'm your future, buddy. I'm your painful
By a
future.
couple of years.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
It's always a pleasure,
So-
sir. I'm glad to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
English instructor and
Business instructor.
business instructor.
Former dean.
And former dean. And
dean.
what else?
I played in the punk rock band Thunderbucket for a number of years. I was in a band called Heroin 13. I was in another band called Razor Engine. I played for Frank Black, who was the guy for the Pixies, and I played bass for him on one session, and then was like, no, it's all right. So, because I was no Kim Deal, and that's it, I guess. I used to be a lot more handsome, and I was a kid. I was very, very cute. Pedophiles from 3 counties used to come around the house. The Ford dealer.
3 counties. Jeez.
The Ford dealer
That's a
had
lot
a
of counties.
special Econoline van special where when you bought an Econoline, you got a free puppy, some duct tape, and a map to my house.
Do those-
Weird.
do those trucks still exist?
And that's it.
That was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Is that all too
sure.
much? Was that?
That was fine. Thank you. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you very
The
much.
wheels are smaller now.
All right, it's your turn. Let's move this along, Stones.
Oh,
Come on.
I'm here.
All right.
Stones every time.
Yeah, what's your claim to fame?
That was it.
Yeah. Thanks for blessing us with your presence. Stones. Go ahead.
I got
I'm Sarah. I feel blessed by Stones' presence.
Ah, good. Yeah. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? And I'm supposed to. Oh, yeah. Aren't I doing introductions? Is that what
I don't know, you're all over the fucking place, dude.
So fine. There's Matt, our camera and sound guy, non-fundamentalist juggalo in the house. All right.
And around the bar translates to fight the power.
All right. Fight the power. That's exactly what it. Thank you very much. Hello, Madison. How are you? Hi, Uncle Wayne. How's it going? And Rob Marchie is here. You want to say something about yourself?
I don't.
Since you're tardy.
No.
Sorry.
I'm tardy.
I'm not
Okay.
eating there after I see this. Don't go to the White Rooster and Gordon and Tom's River. Thanks, Madison. I won't.
Yeah, let's see.
I didn't see that episode yet.
Okay.
I was just talking about Gordon
Ramsay
Ramsay the
was
other day.
at
Like
a
yesterday.
restaurant in Tom's River that I guess
It was
was
a big
gross.
deal.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
The
like
White
in newspapers
Rooster?
and
Yeah,
shit.
actually,
Yeah.
it's on Fisher Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Matt looks like I just ate
It was
their
an
dessert.
empanada. It was an empanada place, and they just kind of
Empanadas
went
are
all
good.
over the place. And
And then it
not a
went-
place called the White Rooster.
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it's very
That's a name. Yeah.
Not
It's a,
weird.
yeah.
It's a
It's Cuban feud.
It's a weird name though.
Cuban feud.
Feud.
So I want. So
Top show.
can I just jump? Can I jump into a topic?
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump into a topic. Okay. So Awesome Talk now has a TikTok, and me and Jack are actually talking about TikTok like
I
all
love
the fucking
TikTok.
time. There's 1.5 billion fucking people on TikTok right now, so it's really insane. But you get some really weird insights to some things because a lot of the usership is very fucking young, right? So you get privy to a lot of weird stuff. Like a funny thing is I noticed today, a lot of kids have started hanging out at the mall again.
Yeah.
Like that was a thing, and it wasn't a thing anymore. It was like
My-
the mall,
my
but like
son-
now it's a thing again.
My
It's weird.
son asked me about upgrading the stereo system in the car, like with like subwoofers and shit. And I'm like,
Wow,
what?
that's just so retro sounding
Like,
to
what are
me.
you talking about?
Yeah,
bro?
and now
Like,
he's gonna hang out at the mall. Isn't it weird? so you get fucking weird stuff like that, right? But then I saw something today that really made me upset, and I thought about the fact that this really is a platform where anything goes for anybody at the moment, and there's a lot of good freedom to that I think is good for people or an outlet for people or something like that. The way MySpace was great because you could do
fucking
anything.
love
It was
MySpace.
insane. Like you do anything, right? And yeah, that comes with its faults, but I feel like a lot of people actually preferred that platform now that we think about it. With TikTok, today I saw a kid who was in tears, and you hear his mother screaming at him in the background. And she's saying things like, "I have 3 jobs to pay for your fucking privilege," and all this shit, right? And the message that comes up at the top says, my mother found out that I came out on social media, and this is what's happening now." And I was like, "Whoa!"
That's
But that's kind of like instant
tripping over some
journalism,
shit
though.
there.
At
Yeah.
least he's got the journalistic urge there to sort of say, all right, put this
What's
on.
the response to that? Is it the same as like Facebook or other things where it's like really minimal?
Are you? Do you see people's comments? To
I've never been
TikTok
on
videos?
TikTok.
You
Yeah,
can,
I
you
haven't.
can, you can see people,
Yeah.
and I think what's really interesting to me about TikTok so far, and maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't know if you've seen it, because you're the only other person I know that really uses it at the moment, because that's
Yeah.
going to change big time soon. But I've noticed that TikTok, I don't see a whole fuck of a lot of bullying going on there.
Oh, there is.
Do you see it?
Yeah,
You do see it? Because
yeah,
I
there really
felt
is.
like from what I've seen, I didn't really see
See,
a
I
whole
was
lot
under
of
the
that.
impression that it was much like a. What was the one where you had 9
Vine.
seconds? Yeah, I thought it was like
It's
that.
like Vine. You
It
get
might burn out like Vine too.
Yeah.
You could.
I feel like
yeah.
Vine was here and then Vine wasn't here.
That's
It-
Well, because
exactly
it
what
was
it was
like
like.
really funny. You had a bunch of people, and then you kind of like overread the content, and then it was like I don't think anyone was kind of prepared for. I have to come up with something that's funny for 7 seconds
Right.
indefinitely, you know?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
This
And once you
has-
start writing comedy, I think you want to like write longer anyway.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Like how many like 7-second punchlines?
But I,
Yeah.
I was late to the Vine deal though. Was there a space in Vine where you could comment and respond, or was it just a sharing?
I don't know.
I only
Vine.
ever access Vine through YouTube, so I'd watch like
Right, I've only
compilation
ever
videos.
seen things
So,
that was
like, yeah.
uploaded.
No,
to
I was
Facebook.
not. Was
And as far as like TikTok
No,
videos,
that's
I've
not
really
true.
only started seeing TikTok
That's not
through
true.
other social media platforms.
Yeah,
Right,
sure. Yeah,
right.
because
Yeah.
you
I
can
only
share
see
it
it on
directly to
Instagram when
Instagram
people
and
share it.
Facebook and shit like that.
But
yeah.
The hook of it is what you can use licensed music.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it
You
was. I
look
thought
up-
it was a bunch of people just kind of lip syncing video.
That's its original.
Okay, so that's
idea.
originally what was going on. It's
Yeah.
the same way that
And it
that
blew up
MySpace
in-
or Facebook was supposed to be like a college thing,
Yeah.
and then MySpace was a music thing, but like it
There was some
exploded into
kind of
something
mass
else.
exodus for whatever reason.
Well, it's feeding a
But they
different
shut
need of
Vine
people
down.
expressing themselves. Like every social media outlet is like it pertains to a certain type or maybe like a certain part of yourself. Like
Yeah.
people who love photography flock to Instagram, you know?
Right, right.
So I'm wondering like who is flocking to TikTok? Like what kind of person is subscribing? Because if there's 1.2 billion people on there,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is just a larger platform for people to be emotive and have a more honest response. Because
It
like
is so weird because the limit of a video you can put up is 60 seconds. That's the longest video you can put
And
up.
a
So
15.
whatever,
You can either do 15 or 60.
15 or
Those are
60,
your
right?
choices. Yeah.
So you have like that's your choice. Whatever you have to get out, you have to get out in that amount of time. But again, it's just a strange venue, man. Like I'm seeing things I don't think I would see elsewhere.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me about TikTok is that kids, and by kids I mean 15-year-olds, are doing dances and things that are not meant for kids that age. There's a girl on there named Charlie who went from obscurity to having 21 million followers.
Jesus
And
Christ.
she's monetized, and her father is all into it. Like his,
Sure.
his
Oh yeah, well, how
TikTok
could you
is,
not
like,
be at that?
you know.
at those numbers, right?
Yeah, and she's
Fuck.
making a fortune.
But she's 15.
She's 15,
and she's monetized, and there's
Yeah.
parents.
but this has happened on
support it.
every social media platform. This is not unique to TikTok.
Right.
No.
You had
Yeah,
like
sure.
girls doing the same thing on Instagram, becoming Instagram famous, and
Right,
like
sure.
and at a crucial
Influencers
time
and-
where they're developing their sense of identity.
Sure. I mean, how long has TV been doing that?
yeah,
It just
but at
travels
least-
from one fucking platform to the next.
Right,
man.
But
It's
the
like- it's like
access is different, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You
you're
have
right,
it-
yes,
you
the
have
access
it in
is
your
different,
hand
yes.
at all times, and
Well,
you can.
yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens with this like next couple generations because you have people who are raised on social media. This is how they've learned to interact with each other.
Right.
Whereas most people kind of like adapted that part of their identity. Like these people live here all the time. Like
Right.
kids don't go offline these days.
But
No,
I but
man,
but
people
but
just like film themselves driving home.
but I
and
think it's
like,
changing.
why?
Yeah, But I think
I-
the nature of it is shifting. So like we went through a period of time where we all talk about I don't know how old you are, but but we all talk about what it was like growing up, and everybody played outside, right? And then it was like the playgrounds went dark. And there were like tumbleweeds and shit, and like there was no kids outside, right? But now
running
it's
police.
different again. The one thing, another thing I noticed about TikTok is whenever I'm listening to people around my age, I hear about how kids aren't active anymore. Go on TikTok, they're fucking active as fuck. Like they're outside,
Yeah.
they're fucking everywhere. They're coordinating these insane stunts, and it's like, I think that it's shifting really quickly, and as soon as we get caught up with the way society is in one way, it's already shifted to another way. Yeah, there was a time where it felt like nobody went outside anymore, but I think we got past that, and I think everybody's back
Social
outside
media is
again.
teaching people to be social
Maybe.
in a crazy turn of events. It's not just about your twisted fucking
Plot
dark
twist.
minds,
Yeah.
humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
The kids are playing again.
But if it's there long enough, it's got maybe there's the curve that will allow it to become a positive force after a while. I feel like we're just like the middle children of social media.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We're the middle
we're-
children of a lot of things.
Yeah, these are the growing pains years.
Yeah.
But what happens when these years end and it just becomes a general part of everyday life for people who've always had it? They're not going to see it the same way. For us, I don't care how fucking much we do it or how good we get at it, there's always an element of it being a novelty involved. Always, just
Right.
a
Well,
tiny
that's
bit.
why it shifts. That's why it won't be the same. Like, social media won't be the same in 30 years as it is today. Because society's going to shift to use it for different things.
Might not even exist.
Or it might get worse. I don't know. I go back and forth with it. Because if it's teaching kids to, like, be social, I don't think so, though. Like, you see depression rates and anxiety rates are higher than they've ever fucking been.
Right.
Because you're constantly at the scrutiny of what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
You have numbers measuring how much people
Yeah.
like you. Like, that's fucked to grow
But
up like that.
Generation Z, right, is more empathetic than any generation that we have
So that's
seen.
why I swing to the other
so,
side of
so,
it.
So there's a positive element. So do we push through the negative and try to filter it out? Or is it sort of an inevitable side effect of going forward?
Well, I
Social
think-
media is a mirror. Sorry.
No, that's right. I think it's like more of like an instant gratification, though. It's not
Yeah.
like a long-lasting one. It's more of like you need it and then you
100%.
want more.
Yeah,
and
without
more.
a doubt.
And that's
Sure.
why you're trained to like get that kind of feeling. Then you don't know how to source it.
Exactly.
There was a statistic put out not too
don't
long
think
ago
that's
that when if you recall, the era of social media platforming in the early AOL stages, the level of gratification that came by waiting for the internet to burst out, in this instant idea of I make a TikTok video or I make a Vine video.
Right.
You are, and one of our colleagues actually shared part of it recently
Right.
about the idea that people are consistently posting something and then staring at their phones for hours waiting for notifications and thumbs up and likes.
Oh, yeah.
and
Sure.
everything.
Just locked in.
So the rate of just
like
holding
anxiety
the phone.
right there.
So the statistic,
What the fuck?
one of the statistics that our colleague brought up, which goes along with the study that I was reading up 2 days ago, was the idea that at that time, the depression rate in the mid 90s, when the internet was really just kind of getting
95?
past 93, 94, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. The statistic was that like 19% of people experience depression at a certain age, from
Right.
12 to 20 or so. And that number has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Not only from that age bracket to where they are now, which
Yeah.
would be essentially us, and then everyone below, it
Right.
got increasingly worse. So that
You
idea,
have to study societal factor changes to see that
it's
social
just
media is
insane.
one of
Well,
the ones.
and
I
the
mean,
idea
our
of
world is like literally on fire now,
Yeah.
and so younger generations that have no hope of having their
Well,
own
and we've
children.
been at war their whole
part of
fucking
it.
life. Like, they don't have a
Yeah.
comparative.
Right.
The world
Like
always
the
seen as
generation
gloomy.
after
Right.
us, like the entire time they've been alive, we've been in like 3 wars. Like they've never known a
they've never
country
known
that's
peace.
not at exactly.
the
Like,
problem is, do
there's
they
so
know?
many
Do they even
depressing-
know we're at war?
Well, they don't
That's
have
the
a
question.
comparative.
that's
We've
the
always
problem.
been at war. They don't know what war means.
Do they
It's
even
more
know
God,
what
they
it's
have
like
no
to
idea.
not be?
But
Well,
there's
that's
never
also
been a
because,
draft.
like, they compare like war here to war there. It's still war. We're still at war. So
Yeah.
like,
That war doesn't have that word doesn't have the connectivity that it did.
No, man,
in the
because now we have
70s
war
or the early
fans.
80s.
because there's war all
Yeah.
the time.
There's like police fans, and there's military fans, and there's war fans. And these are people who have never done it themselves, but they're the first ones out there going, yeah, let's do that, fuck them, attack them, do this.
Yeah.
But that's always existed.
Well, that's part of propaganda
I don't think it's
too.
been as open
Yeah.
because
I don't like
of
that
social
wars
media.
become
Maybe
you're
social
either
media.
like with the troops and that means that you're patriotic, or you're against the troops and that means that like you hate the country, because
Right.
it's far more nuanced than that.
Sure.
Like you can love the place that you live and still don't like the fucking policies of the government.
Right,
That's
sure.
part of having a free fucking democracy.
Right.
What it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
But the
because
problem-
people's go-to is, well, if you don't fucking like it, then leave. It's like, no, how about I stay and I fight for it to be
We're
better
supposed to be
for
able
other
to talk
people.
about this. This is supposed to be for everyone, not
Right,
just
but
for your
interestingly
fucking
enough,
beliefs.
think about it like in terms of the fact that you only got to see when Vietnam was happening. You had people who had protested and fought against it, and it was
Yeah.
televised. It wasn't shared. It wasn't
And
vocalized
we're
at the local fucking
anti-Vietnam
convenience
people.
store the
We're-
way that we can throw shit up on the internet.
Were
and
people who fought against Vietnam usually called out as being anti-troop? Like, was that like the go-to response to them? Like, you're anti-troop.
imagine.
You're,
I don't think
it's
a new
you're
game.
unpatriotic. Like,
Sure.
were they
Yeah,
called that often?
course.
Was that
Thank you.
the
Well, I
was
think
that the
that's
go-to?
part
to
of the
that?
problem, though.
'Cause
Right?
I
The
mean,
part of the problem
obviously,
is that
Oh, good water, thank you.
generationally, the anger and hatred that people have now for
Yeah.
anyone who speaks out against war, it ultimately means that you don't like people in the military.
Right.
Yeah.
Change the
And that
definition,
correlation,
man.
definitions, that's the problem. Definitions and understanding of definitions, the nuances to words and the
Yeah.
ideologies behind phrases and words, the information lacking by people who speak the most about it.
Yeah.
An understanding of how it works. It works with
Yeah,
political
right.
parties in association with what liberalism is and conservatism is. People not understanding what those words mean,
Yeah.
where they hold a place in today's society
Right.
versus 30 years ago, or 60 years ago, or 90 years ago.
That's also because that's when you have a generational gap. You know, like every 30 years, the transfer of information is shifted because that
Yeah.
age group is focused on different things.
Right.
So it's kind of about like the example that you set, how you live your life, and that teaching moment that we get. But instead of teaching, we're just fighting and criticizing.
Yes.
And that's also like the social
Yeah.
media mirror. We're seeing things that we don't like online, but we're participating in things. You know, like we.
And also, people not just teaching, but people also aren't learning. No one's receptive to learn anything. It's a war of
Well,
I'm right,
I
not
don't know.
what is right.
I've certainly come across plenty of news or science articles that I've opened up and read throughout the years for
Yeah.
certain. So I don't know how true that is.
Well, we really lost
About
track
what,
of
learning?
But science, well, unless you're like an anti-climate change or flat earther person, like reading a science article about something you want to learn more about isn't the same as opening up a political article about something you don't agree with and then having it sway your view on it a little or something. Like,
Well, it's hard because
people-
we can kind of publish fake news all the time
that's
now,
the
just to
issue.
give like
Yeah.
alternate theories to things. But then you have people who like don't believe that concentration camps existed,
Yeah.
and then
I
it becomes
know.
like now you can make conspiracy theories for that. So we're kind of like convoluting our own
Dude,
history.
Can,
So
can I
like,
just say something, no, man? There was a time where a certain level of conspiracy theory I thought was intellectual. Like, yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it's,
right?
it's good to question these things, and then something turned a fucking bizarre corner.
Yeah.
Like, people saying the government knew about 9/11, I can almost believe that because of how fucked up they are. But
I'll
now
look
what
into
I'm
that,
getting
yeah.
from the newest generation of conspiracy theorists is that 9/11 was a hologram. And it worries me because I go, wow, you can just continuously rewrite history and say whatever the fuck you want, and every generation will like not believe the generation before anymore. You can change anything.
I've told the story before, but I was teaching in Egypt, in Cairo, recently, and I was teaching people who hold PhDs. So these are people who are supposedly professors. And in between sessions, they were working on a class, and the class was designed to prove that there was never a 9/11. Now, I was actually there. I was actually there when the planes hit. So I'm sitting there watching this group write this entire paper on how it's not. And
So
I'm
you
like,
must be working for the government then.
I went straight back to conspiracy theory.
what is this shit, and how are you possibly, going to go through it? But people, it's become monetized. To
brother's
be a
still
crazy,
sick of that.
outrageous person,
Yes.
you can make money, you can be Alex Jones, you can be all these
But
dickheads.
is that the
and
joke?
just do
Is
what
that
you
the
want.
only? Is that the only humor left?
What do you mean?
Well, they say
Well, you're
what,
living in a
comedy is
world
tragedy
where
remembered.
you're living in a world where satire is no longer satire.
It's just
It's just
Because I know they
commenting on
do it
the
for
reality.
entertaining.
Yeah, it's like a film.
And the problem, like,
Yeah, it's
and
weird.
you said last time, the last show, when you look at people like Alex Jones 15 years ago was entertaining.
He was a damn good
Alex
journalist,
Jones was
too.
actually pretty cool at talking and at least igniting
Yeah.
the flame
Yeah. He
of
was good at
discussing
it.
those things. The
Now-
problem is people like Alex Jones bred followers who then started their own websites.
Started a
and
religion,
took
dude.
minimal knowledge and turned it into analytical truth.
Yeah.
Well, like attracts
all of a
like.
sudden,
You have
it
all these people
spread out
with
like a
minimal
culture.
knowledge.
It's
Like
now a
they're
cult.
attracting people with minimal knowledge because they meet each other on the same like, oh, this makes sense to you. It makes sense to me. I can access these, so that means there's truth in it, and that's not the
Well,
case.
the scary part about that is those people have the time and the effort to read what makes them interested in reading it.
Right.
But they don't want to read things that that predate
it,
that
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
things that are actual facts, things that are like informative before they analyze the conspiracy theory and go, could this be real or could this not?
Right.
Most of those conspiracy theories have a tinge of actual truth and reality to them.
Sure.
If you can objectively look at them and take the parts out of them and go, well, of course that fucking happened.
Right.
But you're not going to go, this happened because of this other weird, crazy fucking snowball effect.
It's just,
Yeah,
I feel like
weird.
it's just, it's more entertaining. Might not be the right word. It's more it's more alluring to believe the fucked up thing. It's more alluring to people to believe. Like the same with like people. It frustrates me when people sort of make up shit that's very anti-science, and I'm like, dude, if you spent any time like actually studying physics, you would find that the nuances in physics make it more mysterious and more interesting and more alluring than the crazy shit you're making up.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like that the allure of like the conspiracy is what what pulls people in and keeps them
Real
there.
life is already
It's-
enough magic.
It's more interesting and more movie-like to believe that that we didn't land on the moon. We just fucking filmed it somewhere.
Right.
Like,
Why do we like conspiracy though? That's so weird. Like, why do we feel this like sense of like that truth aligns with me? That's fucking.
It's
I think it's
elitist.
because I
Of the
think
government.
it's the idea. Or maybe it's like
you're
people
fucking
feel like
like-
they figured you out. Like I
right.
was smarter than you
Right,
guys. I figured you guys
Yeah.
out. I knew you
Like when
fucking
people go
lied,
climate
and I'm
change.
smarter than that.
Absolute
Like, what?
distrust of the government. That's what
It is.
Yeah,
at,
sure.
at its core,
Yeah.
it's anti-authoritative.
And
But
to
then
that-
at the
to that
other
extent,
side,
I don't
that
blame them.
complete trust of your government is also unhealthy.
Yeah,
like
right.
you have to keep people in
Yeah.
check. That's why we have a fucking House and a Senate.
But the problem now is if you say, yeah, I kind of agree with this, the other side pushes you all the way over. Like, what the
Right.
fuck do you mean you agree
Because
with
we're
this?
just going to
That
extremes.
means
We're
you
not
mean
looking at
this.
it. Yeah.
Well, no one wants to go into the arena of facts and walk out and say I lost it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you should be allowed to feel like, okay, I'm going to tell you some crazy ass shit, and when you disprove me, I can say, yeah, what do I know?
Right.
You know, and
Right,
you don't
right.
have that anymore. You just have this.
Well,
this
people aren't going to
nonsense.
disprove you. They're just going to fucking walk away from you. They go, oh,
Right.
you're one of those fucking.
The
You're
other
one of those
day-
people.
What does
Yeah,
that
and that's
mean?
also dangerous.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah,
just
because you're not
labeling
actually.
all these people, like, because we have to see
Yeah.
people and not just it. Would like the more we like divide and box each other, the less human we appear to each other. You
Oh
know?
yeah. You want to piss
Well,
somebody
that's-
off or alienate them? The only thing you have to do is ask them to explain themselves.
The other
Yeah.
day, a friend
Right.
was
Nothing to
over.
bring to the fucking fight. It's a lost cause, and they get
And
pissed.
even like you can't even teach that way because if people don't want to ask because they're afraid of
Ridicule.
some negative response, then that is
Right.
just creating an entire culture that doesn't try to teach.
Well,
we
You
have
know?
an entire culture that are getting questioned as they teach now as to whether or not they're giving facts out or not, or if
Right.
it's make believe
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Oh.
You've
Yeah.
been fed by your
Humans.
educators 30 years ago that are
Right.
still fucking
Right.
Right.
That's always strange to me is this idea that colleges are liberal havens.
Yeah.
Because 50% of the folks I know teaching in a college are as
conservatives.
conservative as hell.
Conservative, yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Totally.
and so those
full
views are getting out
card-holding
there.
I
Republican.
think I know
like,
why
you
though,
know,
because of liberal arts. They think
Yes.
Because of
that's-
the
Right.
name.
No,
They
dude,
think that's
no
the same thing.
shit, dude.
literally
No
is that.
shit.
No, I'm serious.
It literally
They
is
think
that.
it's
We
the
had
same
that
thing.
discussion
It's
today.
true.
The concept of what liberal arts is, that term for them,
Yeah.
they're associating politically
Yeah.
liberal
It's- has
with
nothing
what
to
the
do
What's the
term
word
liberal
liberal?
means in terms of
Look, man,
abundance of different topics.
It's a word
like,
association generation.
It's insane.
So if we
And,
don't-
and not a
Insane.
generation, it's a
Wow.
word association culture, not a generation. Everybody
And the
fucking does
concept
it.
that liberal art, and this goes back, the idea of liberal arts education, let's just clear the air on this fucking one. This goes back to traditional
Yeah.
16th and 17th and 18th century education. Liberal arts education was literally like fundamentally part of what the founding fathers believed every single person needed.
And not just the founding fathers. This was like philosophers
Oh,
and the
this
great
is
fucking
shit in
Stoic
the
minds, like,
Renaissance.
yeah.
It goes way
This
back.
is what helped
You're talking
propel
about
humanity
Greco-Roman
for millennia.
ideology.
Not
Yeah.
millennia,
And it
but
means
generations.
knowing your surroundings, the world you live in. It doesn't mean going to school to learn how to be empathizing with people you don't agree with politically.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's not to
No,
go
it
be a
was-
Democrat.
It was a club in the earliest days where I'm a rich white dude and I need to learn Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, and that's it. And if I can show you that I know those things, then we're all in the same
right.
club.
And then I'm going
That's
to read
it.
outside the box. I'm going to go into science and
It's kind of like
classics and
when
eventually.
we were kids and the parents were sending them off to go learn classical music so that they would get paid well.
Right.
To play
And now they're
music.
setting them up with gaming platforms so that they can
Stream
stream
well.
As
Playing
long as you can do it well, I don't see a
Or
problem.
they're
with
setting
that.
them up with TikTok accounts so they can shake their ass for
Right.
$2 million a year.
Last week,
I'd be
our
curious to
friend,
know
our
what
friend
she
was
makes.
over.
If that's what she
and-
wants to
So
do,
what I-
let her do it. Let her shake her ass and make $2 million on TikTok.
God bless her, but she's 15. You know what I mean? Like when she's 18.
That's what she wants to do, though. She's following her passion.
Does
like,
she
You
want
know how
to
many
do that?
pedophiles are looking at
if
that?
she
though?
didn't want to do that, do you think she wouldn't be doing it? Do you know how many adults do things that they don't want to fucking do
I
for
mean,
money?
does she
Hypocrites,
want
like-
to do it, or does she want to do it because she's 15 and impressionable and see people making money? off of
Also,
it?
I see the same thing happen with adults. It's not just
Sure.
a 15-year-old thing.
Yeah, I
and
agree
I
with
think
that.
everybody just like judging her if she wants to do this shit, and she might change her mind in 7 years.
That's
You don't
the
know that,
worry.
but when you like repel somebody from experiencing themselves, they tend to just want to lean the fuck into it more.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
don't shame her for wanting to shake her ass. She's 15. That's what 15-year-old girls want to do.
I don't think it's a shame of her. I think it starts to get looked at
Shaming
as the
her father.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that's also society. Like, I mean, what? Like, that's what 15-year-old girls do. It's not just her parents. It's not like all parents are gonna have problems with their teenagers,
Oh,
and
they're
all
not.
society's gonna like look at them, like look down on them.
It's
That
also
doesn't
very
help.
dangerous, though.
I think that's the core of the worry.
They have all this
I don't know that it's a judgment of her as much as it's a
danger
worry
aspect,
that
yeah.
somebody's gonna goddamn harm
Well,
her.
then what are we doing to like prevent a culture of people where we think that that's acceptable? Like,
agree
there's
with
always
that.
going to be
That'd be
crazy
nice.
people.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
100%.
Well, part of the problem too, though, is that at that age, she's really now set herself on a course that she can't reverse.
I'm
So,
saying
yeah.
for 21
Yeah,
million
yeah.
fucking dollars a year, this girl can do whatever she wants. She can change professions a million times. She's not locked into shaking her ass. Like,
But that will always be part of the internet.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that
yeah,
will
for
always be
sure.
logged
But
in
also,
there.
like, I don't know, people
You know,
don't
you could
care
be
in 10 years.
You could be
know?
a stripper for a porn star for 25 years and hope the VHS tapes get thrown away somewhere. Like people don't necessarily
70s.
still
Yeah.
remember.
Right.
No one's
Nobody's
running
gonna
around
recognize
going.
you anyway.
I found grandma.
You put on the bronze.
But there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of truth to what you're saying too, man. Because like
Everyone recognizes you.
I read a story recently. Like, at what point as a society do you start to forgive what people do? It's like there was a woman recently who like a porn that she did in 1992, and she was like 18 years old, and she was like, "I did this once. I needed money. A student found it. It was on a
Right.
VHS
Well,
tape,
look how
and
many
now
years
I'm
it took for
fired."
Tracy Lord to be acceptable in reality.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
shows up in a Jay and
Boy,
Silent
she-
Bob video, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's Tracy fucking Lord."
Yeah.
Tracy Lord was fucking 14, making $1 million.
Right.
Having
But
sex and porn in '83.
but here's the
yeah, you
thing.
didn't know that?
The thing is,
Do you know about Tracy?
Yeah,
Lord?
she was in Crybaby. I was just
Yeah, she was
watching
in
that.
Crybaby.
I fucking
Yeah.
love Crybaby.
She was in
Good title,
Crybaby.
that one.
And actually, John Waters got in trouble
signed
for
up
the
as a
set that
porn
movie
star,
too because they
lied
didn't
about
have
her
like
age,
John Waters knew how
and
young she
slept
was,
with
but
a
like
bunch of,
they
like,
lied to
20 and
everybody
30
else.
Oh,
So she was
yeah.
like
on
continue
VHS
filming
tape.
the movie.
John Waters a fucking
At one
genius,
point in
man.
time,
Oh my god, he
still
has
is
this
illegal
quote
to
that
own the
says, "I've done it
VHS
all and I've
as
loved
well.
every trashy minute of it." And I'm like, John fucking Waters.
Pink Flamingos is just like that unnecessarily fucked up movie. You know what I mean? When Divine picks up the shit and eats it.
Oh, God.
It's like, man, this is
That sort of
this is
ruined my
something
life
else.
for a while.
Pink Flamingos.
Oh my god, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's insane.
Quite the art piece.
Sounds like it. Divine and
I
shit.
thought for a second I thought that was the gay club in Police Academy, and then I was like, no, it's like a Blue Oyster, isn't it, or something like that?
Did you guys hear about the musician who died on stage the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy, he was
Folk singer.
he doesn't look elderly, maybe in his 60s maybe?
No, he was like 71, I think I read the
Yeah, he
article.
looks fucking great.
He's in his 70s.
Anyway, he's on stage at a festival and he's playing. And he looks up at the crowd and he goes, "I'm sorry." And then he put his head down and died.
He didn't drop his guitar.
He didn't
either.
drop his guitar either,
He
dude.
just died holding his guitar.
Fall
Motherfucking
over
man,
anything.
legends.
No, isn't that crazy?
Awesome.
Did they
Probably-
figure
Are you
out
fucking
what
serious?
happened?
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
He just said I'm sorry and died.
Yeah,
and he just
that's
And
what
people
died.
it
thought
says.
that he was saying, "I'm sorry," like I need a second. So like they just sat there for a minute
Wow.
and it just went on and on and on, and they were finally like, "What the fuck?" And
Yeah.
he was dead.
And he died.
Yo.
There's
Crazy,
a lot of
right?
people who
What's his
believe you
name?
can pick it. That you can pick. All right, since I have the
question.
gravitas that I'm going to die exactly how I want to die
On stage.
and that's probably what he wanted. Is I'm going to die with my guitar in my
How
hand
much
on
do you miss
stage.
being on stage right now?
I wonder how many
Oh my
times
God,
in
are
his
you
life
fucking
he has
kidding
said
me?
that
Fuck
he's
I've
that.
gonna
had
die
vocal
with his
notes,
guitar.
dude. I haven't even like this is gonna be the first time I've sung in 2020. I miss it so
Dude,
much.
that's awesome,
I haven't even
man.
been on stage.
David Olney, 71, died while performing on Saturday, apologizing, closing his eyes, and not opening them again while sitting on stage at a festival. That's
Makes
like
me happy.
he became
Like,
a
not in a dicky way.
legend
No,
in that moment.
It's kind of.
Yeah.
Poetic.
Yeah,
Nice
it's
in a
poetic.
way.
It's poetic. It's kind
Yeah.
of like if you.
But
if
you died working.
I mean, there's a.
If you're a musician,
That's
you
all
Oh,
you
fuck
do.
you, dude! Fuck you!
Imagine if we did that in a classroom. Imagine if we were like, hold
I
on a
would love
second.
that.
No, the difference
And
between
And
you
you had
fucking
a
apologize.
you just drop
you
dead
just
in front of
die.
a bunch of 13,
But, like, in a
35,
peaceful
35
looking
19-year-olds.
I would love 30 seconds to know it's coming, so I can say
and
what I
say
think.
some fucked up
fucking
shit, and
terrible
then
shit.
just drop a
Yeah, but
bomb.
then someone
Be
comes
like,
in with like a defibrillator, like brings you back, and you're like, "Mother."
Like,
I lost my fucking job. What are you doing?
We wanted
I
to bring
literally
you back to
died
tell you
in
to
the
fire.
classroom. God damn it!
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
I probably would scream, "Don't wear your pajamas, you bastard."
Oh man.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. Died on stage. David Olney.
I think everybody has legends like that. Like my wife has a lot of legends about her grandmother. That her grandmother just learned that she was going to lose her leg. Learned that afternoon that because of
Jeez.
something she's going to lose her leg, and she was older. And she said, okay, I'll see you later, but here, I want to give you this money I saved for you. Gave my wife the money, and then she died about 3 hours later. Just like, and everybody in the whole family was like, yeah, she chose it. She picked it, and that was it.
Wow.
So it's like,
I've never heard that before. That people could choose their death, other than like outside of suicide. They could like will
Some
themselves.
Or the
Yeah,
fact that
I've
maybe
heard a lot of
they
stories
know,
about
you know, you
like
can feel
couples
like,
that have
I
been
know.
together
I have
for
a
like
friend who said
60
that he feels
years,
like
and
he's
then
gonna die when
one
he's
dies,
40,
and
and,
like
like,
2
today,
days later
he's,
the
like-
other one dies.
Yeah.
So fucking
I've
his
heard
nose
that,
swollen
like,
up like 2.5
so
times the
many
size,
times,
and he's like
and
in the
it's like,
hospital, and they
man.
don't know what the fuck's going on with him. And like
Wow.
he told me that, and I just always logged it and never like talked about it, and
Dude,
like, didn't
there
bring it up
are
to him again. But like,
so many comments, everybody. I just want to
Uh-oh.
read what the hell's going on.
oh
here.
yeah, let me know what's going on with the
Parents
Gordon
got
Ramsay.
freaking lazy, society got scary, and parents didn't want to deal with having to watch kids outside. I don't know if I entirely agree with all of this, dude.
I don't feel
this
like
this
we
whole
were
thing.
watched very
Broad
much
brush.
I don't think we
when
were watched at
when we
all,
were
and I
outside.
also don't think that's what it is. I think it's just look. I know
But
people like to
I
say.
do agree that there's a sort of laziness that happened when parents were kind of like just sit in front of the TV and shut up for like
Do you feel like
30
society
hours
got busier?
straight.
I don't really have like a
It
comparative.
definitely busier.
I feel like it.
I think
it
one of
did.
the bigger parts of that is the economy. I blame the
Yeah,
economy.
sure.
The economy of the late '90s, the mid '90s, for parents, people who were having kids for the first time, it fucked a lot of shit up.
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden it was the 2-parent household got more extensive, where
Sure.
one parent was working 2 jobs and the other parent was working a job.
Right.
And it went from being latchkey children to when I'm finally home, I need fucking 2 minutes to myself. Please stop screaming and yelling and anything to distract the child for fucking 2 minutes. As technology was increasing,
Sure.
fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Because we had parents, or at least I had a parent that would get home late, and I had video games and shit, but at least I still got called away from the fucking video game from
Yeah.
time to time.
Right.
Now it was kind of like, and then you see over the course of like 15 years or so of that kind of evolution happening, that the parenting itself just kind of
But do you understand why though?
about what?
About why the parenting has shifted the way it has? Because we're kids longer. And we're kind of pissed off we don't get to be kids longer. Right? So the reason a parent won't tell the fucking kid to put down the video game and go to bed is because the parents are fucking playing video games too.
oh, that's, yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
That's my life.
Oh,
Sadly.
yeah, but do you think?
So like,
oh, so you think it's leading by example?
No, it's not leading by example. It's me looking at my kid and going, yeah, I kind of relate to what you're going through. I want to stay up and play video games too. I get it, man. Fuck that. I got made to go to bed all the time and it sucked. So whatever.
I think that's minimally part of it at the beginning. That little bit
Maybe
of
more of a
give an inch,
generational
take a
thing now.
mile
I feel like
thing.
kids are like having kids now. Like it's far more common for people who are younger to
Yeah.
be having kids. Like a lot of the people I know in high
Really?
school,
We
like, were
stay
like
kids longer though too.
within their mid 20s. Like most of my friends.
And if
Not
you tie
most
that
of my
into the
friends,
fact that they
But
can't,
That's because you end up
like,
growing up
versus
together.
mid 30s.
You
Like
know?
that's when my
Like,
parents
yeah.
were kind of having
I'm sure if
kids.
there's a study tied to it in terms of attention span as well. Like parents that are, a little bit younger tend to have a lesser kind of ability to have patience with the child. And it becomes obviously it started out as a, I'll buy you shit to make you happy kind of thing because I'm not around a lot. And
Yes.
then I think it got worse and worse to the point where it was kind of like, yeah, do what you want to do, or I'm going to just turn a blind eye to some of the things I should probably be reprimanding you for or keeping you in check for, because I just don't have the patience to deal with it. I don't want to fucking argue. I don't want to deal with it, so they give you the phone or they give you the tablet, and it keeps
But
that.
it's going to
kinda-
change. I think it's going to change. Like I said, I think we're the middle children of
Yeah, we'll
technology.
be,
Yeah.
What do
think
you
of the day
expect- how
when
old is your
we could
child?
strap
My
VR
son is
goggles
8.
on a baby.
Your son is 8. So
My
what
son-
did you deal with for the first 6 years?
But here's the thing,
Hey,
man.
Rob.
What did you deal with for the first 6 years of
The
your
major
child?
problem in our life as parents, my son's 8, was the generation above us was a freaking nightmare. The
Yeah.
grandparents were so opinionated and so willing to get right up in your face and say you're doing the wrong
They
thing.
still are.
Opinionated it about like what in particular,
Every
like
damn
video
thing.
games
My
and technology related.
my freaking jailbird father wanted my son to go to karate every 5 minutes, and he wanted just all sorts of shit that he would put on Fox News, and the kid was in a high chair, and he put him in front of Fox News.
This
and
kid's
just-
gonna be a quarterback one
yeah,
day.
like you are fucking mad, and he'd show a guy gutting a deer in front of my
Oh my
infant
God,
son.
right. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
And he didn't see him anymore. He didn't see him
And
anymore.
people wonder why our generation of men are so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because we learned from them.
No.
So how old are you?
And now we got to fix it.
I'm
Yeah.
It
Old
it
enough.
sucks.
I got a lot of that shit from back in the
No,
day.
no,
I
how
know,
old are
man.
your
But like,
kids?
oh, my kids, they're getting up there. I got one graduating soon, and one going into high school.
And did you experience any of that shit in the first like 10 years? Was any of that stuff?
Which stuff? Which part?
Like
Which
the
part
influence
specifically?
of being around and trying to keep them from being, subjugated to just video screens and
There was certainly an issue with the older one for a period of time with him being pretty locked into it and realizing at an early age that if he just complained a bunch, the parents really actually have no power, and he just ran with it.
See, I don't think that.
Good job.
I don't think that screen time is a major issue that people go crazy about because your brain. Listen, you play guitar, you play. We all know the more you do something, the better you get at it because your brain is building neural pathways.
This
to
is
make
why we have
you better
8-year-olds
at
who can
it.
play Beethoven on the fucking piano
Right.
right now, dude.
All these kids, all they do all day long is 8 hours of video games and screen time. So they're in a competition against each other to build a biological network that will be able to beat the other kid. And at some point, they're going to get into the workforce, and that kid who didn't have access to technology is going to be at a huge disadvantage to that kid that did.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then, because I agree, and at the same time, I feel like a lot of our generation had that. Right. And a lot of our generation, like you said, we never kind of grew up. We're still kind of, I mean, there are people.
We never will.
I always look at people that kind of take themselves too fucking seriously as like, you really don't want to play a fucking video game. I know you're 45 years old, but you don't want to take a break.
grow up.
But you could play beer pong.
Yeah.
You could play, like, so like, there's things like that where you're kind of like, I had the screen time. I was a gamer my whole life. I've owned every video game system there is. But I also had a break from that where I also liked sports and I also liked music and I also liked art. Because I just constantly had the shit thrown in my face and given experiences to do that kind of stuff. And I feel like in the last, say, 8 or 9 years, there isn't that much accessibility to those type of things. Like, like you take one thing and that's your life constantly, 24 hours a fucking day, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you may not ever get really good at it. And you might have missed the boat on 7 other fucking things you could have been really fucking good at. And I think that ties all the way back to education. That's also part of the problem with education is that you're funneled into this thing where you're supposed to fucking be this and decide this. And it's like, but you totally missed the boat on something you didn't even have an opportunity to fucking enjoy for 2 seconds.
Well, even that though is everything's being watered down progressively with each generation that's coming up. Like sports, especially.
Right.
There's no competition anymore.
No, that trophy bullshit and the ribbon bullshit and everything else.
Beyond that, now it's like just have fun. And that's it. Like who cares what happens?
Right.
Like it's not a sport anymore at that point.
I
It's
feel
just
like
a
gaming is
social
the only
hangout.
time there's ever any kind of competition
Real competition,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Might explain
And
why they're
gaming is the
seeking
last
out.
competition place.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing
I
else to give.
disagree. I do fucking jujitsu, and that shit's competitive as fuck.
Yeah,
You
but
wanna
how many
kill
parents
people.
are willing to give themselves
Yeah, but that's,
up to
you know.
jujitsu? How many people are going to say, "Let me go
there
pay
are some.
the money to put him in a competitive
Well,
sport
I'm
where you
just
could
saying,
be
like,
completely
fucking video
hurt"?
games are not cheap these days.
No.
So $120 for a video game or $120 for jujitsu. Like,
Yeah.
How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
a year and a month.
Do you love it?
I fucking do. Like, it's nuts. It has, like, I've always wanted to do martial arts, but growing up, like, my sister was super athletic, so they always had me do sports with her, and I was not athletic. And then when I stopped doing sports, I got into music, but I always wanted to do martial arts. So then last year, the first year I moved to Philadelphia, I got a gym membership because I was afraid I wouldn't keep doing martial arts if I didn't have any muscle or, like, core strength or anything. So for the first year, I just went to the gym, and then I started my second year. I canceled the gym membership and got a gi, and then got out of fundamentals 6 months later. So really, for like 6 months, I've been like training jujitsu.
Cool.
And then just moved to New Jersey and started doing Japanese jujitsu. And I think I like it more. Well, differently. I don't know. It's fucking nuts. But I feel like I'm
Was
too
it Brazilian
compassionate.
first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep apologizing to my sparring partners. Like, I'll hit them, and I'll like hurt them. I'll be like, I'm sorry. They're like, don't be. Like, this is the game. I'm like, I do.
This is what we're here for.
Yeah. So
Fuck me up.
I see what you're saying when you're like, there's no more sports, because like I'm definitely like that person, but I am still like I want
I
to.
mean, for the
but
masses
not for the
of
same
kids.
things, maybe.
I mean, the masses of kids.
I'm
that are
just
out
like
there,
relating it to me
school
because
kids.
we're both human too, so maybe
I
they would
think
feel the same
that's,
way.
I think that's also
I
changing
wish kids
though
would
as
take
well.
martial arts, that would be great.
I've been training
How about
jiu-jitsu
martial
since
arts?
I was 20, so 18
Well, that would be my
years,
choice, too.
and I've been out of the game for 4.
Yeah.
And I competed often, and the kids that come in now, finding parents, I think it depends on the parenting.
Yeah.
If a parent wants to drop their kid off at a jiu-jitsu school, considering the fact that it's completely tied to MMA, And a lot of these schools have gone from being traditional jiu-jitsu schools where I trained for the Gracie family and was with the Gracie family training, region for years, and it got bigger and bigger, and now you have these big gyms with boxing and
But
kickboxing.
back then they didn't
and all
have
that stuff.
MMA.
They did though, and UFC's been around since I was like 9.
Yeah, it's been around a while. It just only got bigger in
right,
recent
so
years,
there-
yeah.
So that aspect of it was they weren't marketing it towards
Yeah.
doing that, but in the last 10 years or so, it's gotten
Yeah, they
so big that that's what your ultimate goal is going to be. The discipline aspect of jiu-jitsu for a kid, I think you're going to start seeing that become an issue the way football becomes an issue. And people are going to get worried about what kind of
Yeah.
aggression a kid gets by
Well, I,
training.
I think it's different. Well, it's different with MMA though.
I do too, but that's
Be-
not
because
that's,
listen, man,
but
like-
you could say that from a football player perspective
you
too, that
know-
they don't
Yeah,
believe
yeah, but hold
that.
on,
If
yeah,
someone's
but
like
martial
Lucas,
arts
you
comes
don't
with a
toss
different.
them the fuck around.
Martial arts
Discipline.
comes with a different.
Discipline.
But it's an entirely different culture that surrounds it. It's supposed to be about respect,
And it's a family thing.
Most people
Yeah.
will
The
tell you
schoolyard
that
train
when you
for
train
the
martial
parents
arts.
that we're talking about are not going to get that. They're
Those
just
parents
gonna want
didn't
it
train
watered
this shit.
down.
So what we're
Yeah.
saying here is the parents are fucking worse than the kids.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Dude,
The
do
kids
you
are
remember
capable
the
of a lot
baseball
more than
episode
the
of
parents
South Park?
think they are.
Yes,
Exactly
yes,
like
yeah.
that.
With
The
Randy
fucking
Marsh.
the trophy generation, the fucking ribbon generation, like we said a million times. I've said it on this show, you've said it on this show, everybody that I know has been on this show has agreed with it. It's not the fucking kids. If I hear one more
Yeah,
time
it's
the
the
fucking
parents.
millennials want everything.
Yeah, I hate
the
that
millennial-
shit, dude.
Their fucking parents raised them to want
And not to mention the
everything
fact,
like
man.
that.
Look, man.
they've
No offense to
decided-
baby boomers, man, but talk about the most entitled generation in the whole fucking history of the fucking world, dude. And then they got the fucking balls to call
Our
another
generation was one of the
fucking-
largest consuming generations ever. We're the kids that
No
went to
shit,
Toys R
man.
Us and kicked
No,
the
man,
street
we're the
if we didn't get
worker
fucking
consumers.
toys and shit like that. And you worked, you got what you wanted, you made your money, you bought your shit, and you got it. And the economy changed, technology changed, parenting changed. A lot of things are different, and people want to argue left and right and blame generational gaps for that, for the way that the kids are, but they're not looking at how the kids are raised and what world they're growing up in. There are a
Right.
lot of people that are
Yeah.
disconnected from the fucking world we live in. And
I
it's-
noticed a lot of people in my parent peer group. There's a lot of people who are looking to that kid to hit huge and be the next
They're the moneymaker
$21
for them,
million
man. Yeah.
person or whatever. No
Why
matter what
shouldn't
they
people
do.
see it that way? Look at the fucking world we live in, man.
You
You're on
can do it,
camera
yeah.
24/7. You're on camera even when you don't want to
You
be on
shouldn't be
camera.
having kids to monetize them though.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I agree completely.
When I was a kid, I did Ishinru karate for like 10 years, and there was absolutely no goal to it. There was no, okay, you can have a tournament and get a trophy, but there was no like, okay, you're going to be McGregor or you're going to be. There was
Right,
nothing. It just
right.
ended. And now a lot of my son's friends, they're doing MMA, and,
Sure.
and the parents on some level are like, yeah, he's 7, but eventually he's going to be able to have.
Star.
So you just
Yeah,
think
but-
that like
but-
something
which
that's
is
that
great.
violent, you shouldn't be forcing a kid into? Like it should be their own choice.
You shouldn't put your expectations and your hopes on.
Oh
your
yeah,
kid.
right. So you shouldn't
know?
hope that your kid's going to be the next star.
If the kid
Yeah.
goes
It's the
in and learns what he
vicarious
needs,
fucking
yeah.
thing.
If I
He's
can-
having
yeah,
fun,
right.
That's-
great, but
that's
if
so
you're forcing him to do it,
That
and he
always
doesn't
has
wanna
been.
do it,
But
then
kids have
that-
always done. But parents have always done
Friday
that, man.
Night Lights
Yeah.
fucking-
What about the Little Miss America contest with the
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
little
yeah,
girls?
yeah,
and
yeah,
that?
crazy.
As
What about my son's going to be
As-
the next best quarterback?
But is
Shit.
there,
message-
is there a fine line between rooting for your kid and living through your kid?
Yes, there's a
As
very
as
fine line.
as a
It's
message,
dangerously
so-
fine
so-
line.
as a
putting
message
your-
to my kids, I'm not monetizing any of this.
I mean, let's put it
clear
this
yourself
way.
for stones
If your
right now.
kid, if
You
your
are a
kid
model
wants
parent,
to quit something and,
that's all
is
that
scared
matters.
to tell you because you'll
Right.
be pissed off,
Right.
then
That's a
you've
problem.
stepped
That's it.
over the line.
Right, you're right.
Like
Or
your
if your
kid should
kid, or if
decide
your
he
kid
doesn't
wants
want
to do
it,
something.
and you're totally okay
Right.
with that
We have
decision.
been advising college students for as long as I can think of. How long have we've been doing the same business of dealing with students all the time, where you get people that come in and they are so fucking entrenched in what they do, and they come into an office in tears because they're doing it because their parents want them to fucking
Right.
do it, and they're so terrified because they'll either get kicked out of their fucking house.
Yeah, the stakes are
And,
high.
and they can be
Ridiculous.
really good at what they do.
Ultimatums.
I
They
had
can
that happen
be
to me.
really fucking good at what they do, but they don't like it. And
I
it's
told
Yeah.
the student she should quit college because she came to me and said the only thing I really like is gymnastics. I'm awesome at it. I do gymnastics and dance.
Then go
and I
win
said,
at
go
life.
do it. I said, go do it. Why are you
Do
here?
what you love and go
She
kill
quit,
it.
And her father was at my office wanting to kick my ass. I'm just
Right.
like, whoa.
Right.
Yo, bullshit.
What
man.
And your
Right.
daughter's
Right.
20 fucking
But
years
So,
old.
so,
And
so
learn
from
to
the
start-
dad's perspective, this impressional, his daughter just
Right.
graduated high school, and like the person that she's supposed to trust is talking her out of this scholarship. Like
Right.
from dad's perspective, I see why he could be upset, but like at a certain point, you have to fucking give your kids bodily autonomy. You have to give them like mind autonomy. You have
don't
to allow
own
them
them.
to be people. Yeah.
Well, the weird
You know
thing
that you're
that
gonna
I
disagree with
hear
that.
so
Totally.
much about is that, like, college students are adults, and it's weird because it seems like college professors are being pushed to treat them like they're still in elementary and middle school,
Yeah.
Sure.
instead of talking to them like we're talking to each other at this table. Like,
We're
you're
peers.
supposed to be
That's our
able to
problem,
talk
is that we've
to
always
another
talked like
adult
we're
as an
talking.
adult with their own mind, and not talk to them and worry about what their parents are going to say about it. And college professors now are being pushed to have to consider the repercussions of their parents' reaction to what they tell those adults. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
How can that be an open learning
It's
environment?
strange
It's
that, like,
not.
the parents come above the authoritative kind of relationship between, like, teacher and student. Parent trumps both of that. Then, like, why don't we homeschool more then? If the parents
Exactly.
seem to have more fucking control than the
Sure.
teachers in an
Well,
institution.
that's the argument I make all the time, is that if I went to fucking school to learn the psychology of children and learn how people are aging and how they go through the schooling and how they fucking acclimate to life, you know, outside of what you do at a home, how many times do you see, you know, people lose their jobs in education?
Yeah,
Because
constantly,
if I
dude.
call a kid inside and say, listen, we're going to move you to this other class. I bring the parent in and say, hey, your kid has a learning disability, or your
Right.
kid has this going on.
Can't
Because
say
I
that.
see it every fucking day while you're at work.
Right.
I
Yeah.
see it for 8 hours a day with your kid.
Right.
And the next thing you know, you're fired.
Right.
Right? So the expert, you'll believe the plumber, the electrician, the fucking
Right.
roofer, you'll believe everybody. When it comes to the person who deals with your kid
Nope.
8 hours a
Yeah.
fucking day,
You don't
not
ever
my
listen to
fucking
the
little
person
Johnny.
Yeah,
because
that's
part
just
of my
an-
you
that's
don't
just
believe the
your
person who
opinion.
tells you what you
Happen.
don't want to hear.
That's discouraging. That's discouraging.
It's
for
Across
also
the
anybody.
board, man. But I
completely
also
out over
detrimental
years and
to
years
the
and years of that. You
children.
don't want to fight parents anymore. You want to make it easier.
I
but then
left
the kid
public
fucking-
education
like,
because I won't deal with
But it's
fucking
but it's
parents.
also another fucking symptom of the instant gratification generation too, and it's got nothing to do with the generational thing. It's a cultural fucking thing. Was it you that just said you hate when people attack millennials for things?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
I
What,
hate
so
it too.
recently,
It drives me nuts.
recently
Pisses me the
on
fuck off.
Halloween, we went to go see a production of Frankenstein, and definitely more than 60% of the crowd were boomers or around that age, maybe a little bit younger, maybe older Gen Xers, right? And one of the things I always hear is about how kids can't stay the fuck off their phones. Let me tell you fucking something. The idea of looking around that theater and thinking that none of those people had their goddamn phone up or were answering their phones or checking their fucking phones. They were all fucking doing it,
Yeah.
man. And it's always a thing of look at what these kids do. They're always on their phones. No,
Right.
all you motherfuckers are
Everyone's
doing
on
it,
their
dude. You're
phone.
all
That's the
doing
thing.
it.
Like
Yeah.
they refuse to see their own humanity in it, so it's easier just to like paint the fucking broad brush and hate all these people. And
Blame
hate, like,
down.
Yeah, it's
Blame
hard because
down.
like you always have
Blame
to consort
down.
yourself.
Yeah, blame down.
Blame
Filter
down
yourself
economics.
first with blame. Like
Well, think about an entire generation that hates the tech group because they didn't have all that shit when they were younger. So like, like you might hate the person that's on the internet or on the phone all the time or on the computer all the time, but they're making millions of dollars on the computer, and you had to put on work clothes for 40 years and work the same redundant motherfucking job forever.
But
the
I can
difference
bitch about
is,
like wanting an actual like decent living wage, working
Right.
a minimum wage job.
but
You know,
they,
'cause
remember,
that's
yeah,
me
they-
asking too
remember,
much.
they
Hold
went to
on.
job for 40 years and made
Folks,
a shitload
listen.
of money and retired with a good.
There were
with
all
a
the
good
houses,
pension.
there was a
These
good
people
economy.
are fighting on the fucking internet to keep their job.
We got to cut the break, but before we do that, I want to read through the comments to help fuel when we come back. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's see where did I leave off. Parents got lazy. We saw that. Motherfucker. Hello, Brandy. Okay, saw that. Hello, hey. Hey, let's hear some Mandalorian talk. I want to hear Sarah talk about the Mandalorian.
Oh, let's do that.
Is it Yoda reincarnated?
No.
My Uncle Wayne says bring the draft back.
Conversation over.
I'm sure that's
Seriously, you want some serious shit
Yeah, well,
happen.
You want to watch some serious happen? My Uncle Wayne
That's ridiculous.
said that.
Sorry.
It is ridiculous.
Hey, Damien. Hey, that's my dojo dude.
Damien, dude, Damien's my dude, man. I've known Damien for fucking ever, dude.
Small world.
Look, Rick drinking that Stella. You goddamn right there, Jay and Brady. I'm drinking that Stella. Wayne Davidson, VHS tapes are the shit.
Tracy
By the way,
Lawrence.
the same guy that
Is
said
that what we're
VHS
talking
tapes
about?
are the best
Fucking
is the guy
Tracy
that said.
Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Tracy Morgan, it was the SNL guy who got hit by a truck. I thought that was all right. So okay, let's have some Mandalorian talk. Alexandra's in the chat. What's up, Damien? What's going on? Nicole, Dad, what's up?
why I
How's
have
it
a
going,
business,
man?
says Damien, right? We have lots of kids in my dojo who have parents who train too. He's right.
Yes, man, he's right, man. But Damien, dude, there's one thing I want to say real quick,
Damien
man.
is an amazing
You
teacher,
are an
though.
amazing,
Like,
not
he-
just an amazing teacher. He's an
makes a-
influence. He makes a
Exactly.
huge difference on the people
Yes.
around. You're not leaving it up to
Like
them
the-
entirely. You are
Exactly.
fucking giving
Exactly.
them a platform, man, and you're actively dragging people, not dragging, pulling people in the
Right.
Sometimes you gotta
So
train
it's
them,
all
though,
about,
Andre.
but it's all about the person who trains them. It's all about the.
And I will
school
say
and
the kids
upbringing.
look at Damien with fucking respect. He's such a good
Absolutely,
example.
and so do the parents, and everybody
Yeah.
does,
And we're not
man.
coming at jujitsu as a
I know.
school. It's the parents that think that that's a good option, if they don't know anything about it or they don't know what they're throwing them into, that's kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it can.
Christine's in the chat. Madison says, "Preach it, Sarah." Parents legit write emails on behalf of their adult spawn. That's 100%
For real.
right.
So weird.
So listen,
Never
folks,
be that person.
we've got to cut to a break because I'm pretty sure some of us have to urinate right now.
Ooh,
So
the whales. I
we're
can still
going
hear them.
we're going to cut to our break. We're going to be back. There's going to be a timer in the corner, so you'll know exactly how long. When we come back, we're going to pick up the conversation. So keep talking about it in the chat because whatever the fuck you say, the first thing I'm going to do is read it. So whatever you guys want to argue about or throw out there, whatever crazy, insane shit you might be thinking, we could do that and hit like and all that other shit and share this. Just keep sharing it because it's just going up and up and up and it's insane
Oh my
tonight.
God, dude.
So if Matt doesn't cut
It's
me
a
off,
long goodbye.
if the non-fundamentalist juggalo doesn't cut me off, then I'm just going to keep on going forever.
This song is unreleased. This is a brand new song off of regularly scheduled programming titled Bluntville. And bye, that's it. It has not been released anywhere. This is the premiere.
Watch this demonstration.
I made the beat for this one. This is one of my self-produced tracks. I performed this one time before at the Mill Hill Basement. So technically it's been seen, but by very few eyes. This is the world premiere. Check it out. Chain smoking Bluntvilles, contemplating what's real. I've been racing uphill, trying to make a fucking meal. Hungry man, what's the deal? Your belt buckle getting stuck. Only time you tuck the steel, yup, it's real. Gibby get the legend back to run the field. Busy as fuck still, and everybody wanna chill. I'm grateful for the love, but they was hating on the scrub not that long ago. Got the longer dough, they thinking in they mud. Like what you drinking in your mug? Gibby gibber, fill it up. Sight what it's really like, I'm in the negative with funds. But as corny as it sounds, I'm feeling rich with opportunity. Got a fistful of this loot, I'ma spend it all while doing these ciphers and shows. Light intro and then I'm moving 3 spaces. I'm states away to hit the stage. New to me like it's school to me. New kid, don't tutor me, cause I do this. Make movement, stream lucid. Take 2 hits of that new fifth. Lately I got a lot on my mind, baby, but I know that we gon' be fine. Gotta keep up with the heat, I'm feeling seasoned in my prime. And all I ever needed was a reason and a rhyme. Lately I got a lot on my mind, baby, but I know that we gon' be fine. Gotta keep up with the heat, I'm feeling seasoned in my prime. And all I ever needed was a reason and a rhyme. Fuck the safer route, positive that I'll make it now. They can never take my cloud or paper out my bank account. Hit the stage and wow the crowd, take a bow, the haze come out. I hit it twice and make a cloud before a hater can make a sound. They can doubt, but it won't take a toll on me. As if I had an easy pass attach and we ain't rolling deep. I roll with 3, maybe 2 homies that done made the crew. They all knew the many places making tunes would take me to. Staring out Mount Rushmore, motherfucker, make some room. Now I'm finna invade the moon, the spaces spread my greatness too. They only say they love me when I'm out of town. I'm a couple states away, so hit me when I'm back around. Blunt hit it, Asher hit it, ain't no passing around. I'm by my lonely for the night, putting in work in mass amounts. My ex, I used to text her shit, trying to call my phone. I told that hoe I'm doing better now, like Post Malone. Lately I got a lot on my mind, baby, but I know that we gon' be fine. Gotta keep up with the heat, I'm feeling seasoned in my prime. And all I ever needed was a reason and a rhyme. Lately I got a lot on my mind, baby, but I know that we gon' be fine. Gotta keep up with the heat, I'm feeling seasoned in my prime. And all I ever needed was a reason and a rhyme. Now, that is Bluntville, off of the upcoming album, regularly scheduled programming, coming this motherfucking winter. You got the exclusive here on Awesome Talk, the best podcast on the East Coast. I'm claiming that now. Thank you, I appreciate y'all.
I'm so happy to have you guys. Fucking Awesome Talk is fucking awesome. I'm having a great time. It's been a rough couple of years. Craving all your innocence, how one could live for minimizing my existence, living just to stay distracted, to survive our reenactment. Seems to be recalled, pretend to be an individual, outwardly effortless. I'm well versed in your politics, but I cannot go on like this. I cannot go on in bliss through history. We left our mark. The problem is it smells like tar. The problem is it fuels the car. The problem is maybe it's the way that we communicate. Are we inherently selfish, inbred, or agitated while we're founded and surrounded here by white supremacy? But all the people who can change things are the ones that fail to see. Are we the offspring of the most violent rapists of our time? Because back then the biggest assholes were the ones that could survive, or so they say, or so they shouted out a car at me when I walked down the street. Cause I'll just shake my fist and vow to avenge my own murderous ancestry. Blah. Solutions are evasive to this lackadaisical equation. Some become complacent, clean the cobwebs from the basement, dusty boxes full of memoirs. Hesitant, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Just show me yours. Show me, buying into superstition, appropriate misinformation. Fake now is our only fate left, so let's get annihilated. Hear the music, time to face it. Did we choose this? Can we change it? Did you walk 2 fucking moons, bitch? Cause we're all doomed if you didn't. Maybe it's the way that we communicate. Are we inherently selfish, inbred, or agitated while we're founded and surrounded here by white supremacy? But all the people who could change things are the ones that fail to see. Are we the offspring of the most violent rapists over time? Because back then the biggest assholes were the ones that could survive, so they say, so they wrote it in a book. But hey, who wrote that book, by the way? It's not dangerous if I'm dangerous. 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 If I'm dangerous. If I'm dangerous. If I'm dangerous. Thank you. You sure? One more? Is that okay? Okay.
Decision now!
Sunny side.
Yes?
Chords all like,
Yep.
In late stage capitalism, it's very easy to look out into this world and see a lot of bleakness. But we here at the Swagmatics want you to try your best to realize you have a whole life to live.
Out in the distance, on the horizon, I dreams of a better tomorrow. And maybe today may be cloudy and gray, and every hour is sorrow. Say it all right. You've got to see the bigger picture. You've got to gotta see the sunny side. Alright, let it ride. Down on the corner, under the street lamps, you stand with your hand in your pocket. The world is turning, everything's changing, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. City heat, alright. You gotta see the bigger picture, you gotta see the sunny side. Alright, let it ride.
Take it, man.
Keep on keeping on, yeah. Yeah. Silver linings seldom found when you're looking down. Raise your eyes, green lights. I've been standing by your side, yeah. Say that it's alright. You gotta see the bigger picture. You gotta see the sunny side. Alright, let it ride. Now everybody sing it with me, yeah. Alright, you gotta see the bigger picture. You gotta see the sunny side. Alright, let it ride. Yeah.
That is fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, dude. Yo,
Hi, fans.
can I just say something? My house is so much fucking cooler than your fucking house.
Yes, it
right
is,
now.
bro.
It just is.
Truth hurts.
So much business right now. It's-
Thank you.
The night grows dark, it gets cold again. Sometimes I wonder where you've been. And even though I've heard all the reasons why, you'll always be that star in my sky. If these walls could talk, they try to forget the time they've spent hearing me lament. 'Cause the pain I feel just can't be pushed aside. 'Cause you'll always be that star in my sky. Well, everyone I know says you did me wrong. Well, I never thought I'd have to sing this song, 'cause we promised our love until the day we die. So you'll always be that star in my sky. But I'll stand alone, I'll look up above. I can only imagine what you're dreaming of. What did you really mean when you said we could try? Was that your gentle way to pass me by? 'Cause it feels just like a dream flowing through my mind. The spaces in between, connected by a line. When I look for you, it seems like I was never left behind. 'Cause in the corner of my eye, you'll always be that star in my sky.
That was a strong finish.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Awesome talk.
Thank you so much, Steve.
7, episode 11.
Season 11, episode 7.
Season 11, episode 7.
It's 7-11.
Thank you all. It's been a blast.
Alright, this one's for Lil Omega. He loves this song. He couldn't be here. I'm gonna fuck this one up for sure, though. This is a new one. This is how we do it. Yeah, I got this. I'm the Harvey Dent of Trenton. Hit me, but you barely put a dent in. I send you to the dentist. My heart breaks, I mend it. Trenton makes the world's pretending. East Coast realism. Send my New Brunswick friends in. You get high, I've ascended. Give me a bond, I bend it. Give me a rule, I break it. The cycle's never ending. I rap tremendous. I rap condescending. I don't believe in the system, but I am the defendant. I want no detention. I get mad attention. An honorable mention. The point of mad contention. Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Heroes for the rentin'. Feeling friendless. High stakes. Fuck a friendship. DKFG, relentless and endless. Stand up against the tempest. My temper, I'm senseless. Nobody's on the guest list. I get shit, you're bested. I use no Smith & Wesson. Used to go to confession. Now I push it down like it was indigestion. The Catholic Church is evil, protecting priests molesting. I take no suggestions. I take indiscretions to the the face and eat them.
Shit out raps from digestion.
My style's impressive, your style's depressing. I always say fuck off, but this time I meant it. Trenton, I'm a resident. Chambersburg, I'm president. Fuck what you believe in and everything you represent. I am now exempt. You ask for strife, it's what you get. My evidence is heaven sent, but hell is where I'm headed next. Sisyphus, 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 666, Sisyphus, 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 Sisyphus. I did better than I thought I would do on that one, so that's a win. That's a win. Awesome talk. DKFG. Thank you guys for having me.
Ready when you're ready.
Big up to Awesome Talk, though, huh?
Ready when you're ready.
I'm ready when I'm ready.
Whenever you want to drop that. Yeah. Like, whenever you want it, you might get it. Don't swan it, you're the next. It's the epic, don't sweat it. Don't forget the kinetic energy flexing. Check how we do it in Belmar from Trenton. I took 95 to the east, the direction. Not to mention everything was flexing. The rain started falling, the beat started calling, and Rob said, you better do that shit that making people just bob head and rock with it, non-stop dropping. Everything is cool, yeah. Don't you assume an assumption, cause I have to switch the function in your face. Come to a mason and leave the whole trail blazing. Everything is cool, we had a discussion about the nation and all the fucking type of shit that's mad and crazed in the installation and the flayed education and the financial institution, the shit they're producing and the way that they're moving. Keep it cool when I'm cruising. Yeah, my man Matt Rockasset is producing the whole ill material. Yeah, in the morning with the cereal, I bring it back together with material you never heard of. I bring it from the outer galaxies, all for my noggin, yeah. Make a little salary, but it's never enough because the stuff costs too much in this life we live. So what's up? Yeah, straight off the noggin, off the top. That's how we do it with my man Rob when we rock. So yo, I'm about to give a little flex as he takes a little breath and go on to the next. And like back to the dirt, I return, let it burn again. Turn clock back to the boom bap and make them learn. That's how we burn when we rock it in the set. Live and kinetic with edge energy, we flex so they have something to spit with it. We'll spit shit till they split and they spit liquid. Form-fitted, lyrical, clothes, beats, and artistry, not just an addition. It's a part of me. Rock to the rhythm I'm living, I put my heart in it. I'm just a sub in the game, I didn't start in it, but I'ma make a run now. Some way and somehow. 5 consonants, 1 vowel, spin the wheel. I'm so tired of spinning wheels. I don't like division, but I'ma say how I feel. Truth over fiction, regardless of truth's friction. The gaps need bridging like when there's a tooth missing. Who few will listen to such as I backslidden in these days when more and more less of a F's given. Text written, sorted, distorted, a small fortune worth none to some, to others a small fortune. This is a mic check, check that gut. How does it feel? Have you had enough? Awesome Talk season just starting to get warmed up. Yup, like this. It's a mic check, check that gut. How does it feel? Have you had enough? Awesome Talk is just starting to get warmed up. Yup. Peace. Respect. Thanks, y'all.
Hey.
Peace, Rick. Thank you, man.
God, you guys
Rob,
put out
man.
a fucking album.
It's mad fun, yeah.
Hey, this is Rick from Awesome Talk. Why not go grab yourself a beer, because we'll be right back.
back.
We're back?
We're back.
Good. Let me just make sure this is good. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I want to make sure we're... Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're there. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Awesome Talk, Season 12, Episode 7 on January 21st, 2020. Hope everybody's feeling good. We're feeling good.
I want to give a shout out to my friend Frost. He's watching. What's up, Frost?
Is he watching?
I don't know. He said he was going to tune in. Perhaps he watched at some point tonight.
Where is, how did I, what the hell's going on with
Well,
this?
don't put him on blast. He's going to be uncomfortable.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
Frost. Tunes out.
Whoops.
Yo.
Doing it.
Okay, there we
Let's
go.
go for it.
So,
I've been all alone.
welcome back. So I think it's probably important that we do a really quick around the bar now that we're back.
How
Okay?
important do you think it actually
Stones found the
is?
scotch.
It's
Yeah, it is.
super
That's
important.
exactly what I was thinking.
What? That Stones found the
Stones
scotch?
found the scotch.
No,
What's
you
this?
left out the
That's a
important part,
Ninja
which was
Turtle
the.
shot glass.
I was gonna say, is
shit.
this? It looks like a Ninja Turtle, but it's got like weird
It's like
daggers.
it's like
Looks
an
like a tiki.
Aztec.
Yeah.
It looks like an Aztec.
Yeah, it's an Aztec
uh,
Ninja Turtle shot glass.
Cheers.
Did you bring that out for
Here you
yourself?
go.
Well, for whoever
God
wanted,
bless.
there's another shot glass there if you want it.
Cheers.
So,
Oh,
Cheers.
let's see. Cheers.
so, oh well, fuck it, man. All right.
Clink,
Clinky, clinky, everybody, clinky.
Clinky, clinky.
One drink to rule them.
So you can say your name and something real quick about yourself. I'm Rick, and this is a fun night. That was lame.
That was bad.
Nice self-critique.
That was
instinct.
lame.
You want a second try?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and.
I'm Rick, and despite what people think, I thought the new Star Wars movie kicked ass.
I agree.
I agree.
You know, the kids didn't even want to watch it with me. They watched all the other ones with me, and I made the offer last weekend to go watch it in the theater, and they were like, "Oh, Dad, I heard it sucked." I was like, "No."
This is why they invented hitting kids.
What the fuck?
Damn trophy generation. They're just Star Warsing.
Yeah.
Dude,
Damn.
Star Wars fans ruined Star Wars, and I was like the biggest Star Wars fan ever, but I can't even fucking listen to them talk anymore, man. They just gripe about shit. It's like listening to
Yeah.
Doctor Who fans. Like, just move on. Like, there's so
Yeah,
much
they
other
hate it.
shit that you probably like without the bitching. So why stick around?
If this was a nationally syndicated fucking program, and you just said that about Doctor Who, the fucking internet would crash.
Yeah.
Dude,
it might just crash
I don't
anyway.
understand it, dude. There's
Erica
people that
Carboy
stick
is
around for
watching this
every
right now.
fucking
It's
episode of
over.
Doctor Who,
Love
yet
Doctor Who.
all they want is to actively hate Jodie Whittaker. It's like, then
Yep.
why don't you just wait until the next male
Never
doctor
seen
and
a
shut
fucking
the fuck
episode in
up?
my life.
Oh my god, it's so
What's wrong
good,
with you?
Rob. What the hell's the matter with
Exactly
you,
what's
dude?
Never
wrong
watched
with
it
you.
either.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well,
That's
whether or
a
not the
psychiatric
show is good,
evaluation.
the point is that
Right.
it's like, why stick around if you hate it and you acknowledge it as something that you think sucks? Like,
Right.
you're not interested, so you don't watch it. You don't go, I'm not interested, I'm gonna watch it, find out I hate it, continue watching it, and then go online and spend hours talking about how much I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why?
Star Wars fans are the
Why?
fucking worst, man. And Doctor Who. in
They're
fact,
the,
yeah.
they're the same.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Nobody hates Star Wars quite like a Star Wars fan does.
It's insane. And the argument's always the same. Well, you know, you dedicate your whole childhood to this thing, and then, you know, a company comes in and then they rob it. It's like, dude, I've read all
please.
those same books. I've read, like,
Company.
I've read, like,
the company owes you your fucking
Ghostbusters
dream.
Right.
exactly. Like, here's the thing. Like,
Look,
the
this
argument
company robbed me
is,
of
the
Teenage
argument
Mutant
has to do with the expanded universe. Like, I've
That's
read
not
probably like
Leonardo.
200 Star Wars
Look at
books,
those
okay?
swords.
Disney came in
Terrible.
and they
What
were
is
like,
that?
well, that's not canon anymore. But here's the thing. Those fucking books
What is
still
that? He doesn't have
exist.
that on
You
his
can
chin.
still buy them. You
Yeah.
can still read them. Like, they
This is cultural
exist. So, like,
appropriation.
Oh,
it's not like that actually happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like those stories were real historical fucking fact, and then they came in and they, like, rewrote history and said, you know,
So much wrong
concentration
with that.
camps aren't real. Like, that's not what happened. Disney took over and they were like, well, we made these new stories. Like,
Yeah.
so fucking what? Now you have double the amount of shit.
Yeah.
Like, why is it
Yeah.
bad?
I like alternate universe shit. That's why I like the Joker movie. It's a
Like,
completely
haven't you
brand
ever
new
read
story.
fucking
Seen it. I've
comic
heard it was
books? There's
good.
alternate
Huh?
I
universe
haven't seen it.
everything.
So
It
good.
was good, yeah.
Yeah, the Joker movie was insanely good.
I don't know if I believe the
awards
alternate
and stuff,
universe
too.
theory on it, but
Yeah, but I like alternative ideas. Like that movie Brightburn, right? That was about what if Superman were an evil kid instead of a good boy? How different would it be?
Yeah.
And it's not a great movie, but the premise is fucking insane.
Right, that was
because
that way, yeah.
you have a kid with endless power who can do anything,
Right.
and he doesn't like you.
Tight.
Yeah, and now
good.
like go to your room doesn't fucking work. So what now?
Yeah.
He destroys your fucking house. You know what I mean?
That was a really cool thing about Superman 2 was Red Son. I don't know if you ever read that.
Yeah,
but he
I know
drops
of it.
He drops in Soviet Russia, and he's raised Russian, so there's this
Instead
whole
of American,
separate-
right? Yeah, it's totally
It's
different,
really
right?
interesting.
I think they're gonna make that into a movie.
You should.
Fuck, and then they're gonna start all the different alternate universe things. Like as soon as they started making superhero movies, they still haven't stopped. They realized how big the market was.
Yeah.
People go to them. People love them.
But that's like also why we still have remakes of everything and trilogies when there shouldn't be trilogies. And then there's like a Toy Story 4 when they should have just stopped at 2. Nostalgia culture.
I don't mind all of it though. Like they're gonna reboot Gremlins. Don't you kind
No,
of want to
they're
see
not
what
rebooting-
Gremlins is
no,
gonna look like?
they're not rebooting it.
Why?
They're
Okay,
coming out with a
I want a new
Gremlins
Tank Girl the way that
Oh.
they redid Mad Max. I'll take that.
They're redoing Tank Girl?
No, but they should.
Who would play Tank
I was
Girl?
just talking
fucking
about Tank Girl with
rewind
somebody
here?
today.
Was that a Tank Girl reference?
Who would play Tank Girl now? Who's a good Tank Girl?
That's a good question.
You're gonna replace her?
I'm going to say Jennifer Lawrence to make everyone angry.
Well, just
Thanks,
to switch
you
it
did
up.
it. Good job.
I win.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the extent of her career, isn't it? Tank Girl, outside of A League of Their Own.
Who?
She was just in
Oh,
Orange is the
yeah.
New Black.
Get Aubrey Plaza.
Was she?
Yeah,
What
she
was
was in
her
one
name?
of like the
Aubrey
third
Plaza's
season, I
a
think.
good Tank Girl.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
Okay, I can
That's
see
a good
that.
That's the only one I
She's
can
aloof enough, but I don't know. It's just like no,
This-
they
hear
don't
me
write that
out.
kind of shit. They don't write that character for mainstream.
No,
You know,
it-
like
I
This-
want to know what the
It's
chat
not.
thinks.
there would have to be some like
Yeah, I
like
wanna-
Quentin Tarantino would have to cast it.
Who the hell would be the new Tank Girl? So if anybody has any ideas, I think I
How many
have
people know
a
what Tank
raptured
Girl is?
spleen from watching this. Thank you, Freddie.
Rapture?
Freddie,
Yeah,
hang up and dial 911.
yeah. Well, if he's raptured, it means his spleen went to heaven. So
Oh,
don't
maybe
worry
hell.
about it.
Wait, no, they only go to heaven in the rapture. Everybody else just sticks around.
Hey,
Gets
Samantha,
their
what's
shit
going
right.
on? Yeah, raptured. So, I can't believe what fucking time it is already. I want to talk to our guests and I want to talk about what you guys want to promote or what you have going on. So, Erin, you're performing tonight.
And eating cookies, I'm sorry.
Okay, so Jack, I'm going to start with you
Thank
then.
you. Good man.
So, dude, I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you
tonight,
very
man.
much. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
And-
I'm having
and-
a wonderful time.
Thank you for bringing the Scotch whiskey with you.
I
and
hope everyone's stoned, so I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
This
delicious.
is actually quite good.
It's
And-
delicious. What
Drinking
is it?
out of the Lord of the Rings glass.
out of Lord of the Rings.
Christopher Tolkien just died a couple
Oh,
days ago, man.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a very-
without him, there's so many Tolkien books that would never have been published after, you know.
Who'd you say?
Christopher Tolkien.
Christopher Tolkien's youngest son? Something like that,
Just
yeah.
passed?
He just
Yeah, a
died,
couple
but
days ago.
he was in his 80s, too, I think. He was a
He
quite
was an
elderly
old
man.
man.
Yeah.
I recently fell in love
but
with Lord of the
because
Rings
of
movies.
him, there's so many
Yeah.
Tolkien stories that have been published in the past like 10 years because he made sure they were, you know, edited and released. So there's so many pieces of Tolkien's universe that readers would never have ever gotten to experience without Christopher Tolkien.
What's astounding about Tolkien is that, you know, he's a philologist, he's a language guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know, but he made up languages and then made up stories to do language. He's been doing it since he's 13 years old.
Amazing.
13 years old to
He
this
is
day.
absolutely one of the
It's
most
amazing.
Fun fact: Jack Kelnhofer in his book collection has the Tolkien trilogy in Gaelic. Is it in Gaelic? Or is it
I have The Hobbit in Latin.
in Latin. That's what it's
I
about.
was
in
just talking to
Latin.
Rick
Spices
the
up my
other day
Latin.
about
First book
The
I ever
Hobbit.
saw on your whole shelf where I was like, how in the fuck?
Why?
Like, why?
Why? Yeah.
I was talking to Rick the other day about The Hobbit, the book. I've watched a little bit of the first movie, and I'm like, wow, this is butchered. But the book, and I'm like, aren't you astounded by the amount of fat jokes that Bomber gets? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like literally every time they refer to that.
You're
that
talking about in the movies.
no, I'm talking
in the
about in the
books.
book.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
constant. It's every time they talk about him. It's like, well, it's because he's fat. And every time they want to do something, he's like, I can't, I'm too fat. I can't do
Dude,
this.
First time I read that book, I was
Margot Robbins is.
and it was the greatest thing I ever came.
I know, I've read it, and
no,
it is
it's-
instantly
To me,
my
it was life
favorite.
changing. It was
Margot
life-changing.
Robbie
Exactly.
is Tank Girl because
Yeah.
she
That's what I'm
plays.
looking
Yeah,
up.
Damien's right. Margot Robbie is Tank Girl. Makes a
Why?
lot of
Because
sense.
she plays.
Because she's Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
so she has that sort of attitude already. She's
So
already
you
proven
play one
she can
role
nail
and
it.
that's it.
Okay,
You can
okay,
nail it?
okay.
don't know
I can
about
see
that.
it in like this picture. She looks maybe psycho enough.
She
was
definitely
like,
looks
she fuck
psycho
you
enough,
up.
dude. Absolutely.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah.
If she can do Harley Quinn, she sure as fuck can do Tank Girl.
Can she do Harley Quinn?
I don't know.
Harley
I
Quinn's
think like,
harder than Tank Girl?
Do you think
I don't know,
she's
man. I think
done
Tank
justice
Girl's
to Harley
Agreed.
Quinn, though? That's
Agreed.
what I'm curious.
I don't know. I don't have any frame of
Yeah,
reference for that. I've
sagas.
never seen it. I only hear
Did you ever
stuff.
see the first one? Like the old one?
Yeah.
You mean Suicide Squad?
No, the original Tank Girl movie.
Oh, yeah.
Long time ago. I forget the actress's name.
Lori Petty?
Yep.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, Lori Petty.
And she was also in A League of Their
Point
Own.
Break. She was in Point Break.
Point
that
Break.
was
Wow.
Point Break.
She was the girlfriend of Keanu Reeves, the sister of
Really?
Patrick Swayze, or was it just the?
I don't remember.
You know what I
Point Break
noticed
is a
about Point
fucking
Break?
ridiculous movie.
Yeah, not
Ridiculous
only is it a
tale.
ridiculous
They're
movie.
remaking that.
No, they already did it.
They
What's
did,
what's
yeah.
the movie with the cars that everybody loves?
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, the first Fast and Furious movie and the first Point Break movie are identical scripts, but one has surfboards and one has cars. You can almost line them up side by side in every twist and turn, and even the dialogue is similar
Except for the
entire
death
way
at
through.
the end of Patrick Swayze.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, the maybe death. He goes off into
Spoiler.
the...
Yeah.
He could have come out and like
Yeah, he could have
some
swung.
gnarled victory. They just cut it off before that.
Patrick Swayze, he didn't come out.
Harley Quinn versus Tank Girl.
Yeah.
Who wins in a fight?
Fucking Tank Girl. Are you? No, I was about to stand up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Tank.
It's Harley Quinn have, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Flat Top from Dick Tracy.
I just want to bring up
Wow.
the point that I will watch any movie where members of the Red Hot Chili Pepper get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
No, what about Suburbia?
Did they beat them up in
Flea,
that one?
before he was Flea in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he's in that movie and he's like a...
Which version? The one
Suburbia?
with the kid. So there was like a really low budget movie called Suburbia.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
And
about.
then
Where
there
they
was
just like hire all the
another
punk
movie.
kids in the movie to fucking star in
Right.
it. Yeah.
There's another
He's in
Suburbia
that
movie
one.
that has a kid from like one of those '90s high school movies in
Kids?
it. No, not kids.
Ooh, that
it's
movie's fucked
it's
up.
way more Hollywood than that.
Right.
But yeah, there's two movies of the same name. Yeah, it's weird.
Suburbia.
Yeah,
It's a
really
fucked up
fucked
movie,
up.
but it's,
Movie
it's
I
on
ever
point.
I was
See,
not like
so
ready for
rough.
what I was about to watch.
There was just an interview with the kid who played Tully. It was interesting how they picked up all
Wow.
those people that were in that shit, because when Casper died after he did, what was it, Friday 2?
Yeah.
Right? When he
Yeah.
played the guy in Friday 2. Those guys were skating. They were just skating in Love Park in Philadelphia, and they were picked up to be casted based on the fact that they were just skating in the park.
Wow.
And that's
Wow.
how they casted those people.
Damn.
And out of that movie, 4 of those people went on to have incredible Hollywood
good
careers.
careers, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking nuts. It's
Yeah.
like Freaks and Geeks. It's just like an all-star
And that
fucking
movie-
cast
and
lineup.
but that movie, when it came
But
out,
nobody knew
was
it at the time.
controversial as fuck.
Yeah.
We needed like
Yeah,
a
right.
parent to go
Yeah.
in the fucking...
Right,
No,
it was an
that-
NC-17
it's-
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're fucked.
And I remember
That
being
and
young
Faces
and
of
going, how the
So
fuck
there's
is
like
reality?
6 of those. And we
How
were
the fuck
renting
is
them
reality
VHSs.
NC-17?
First time I ever watched a monkey get his skull cracked
Ugh.
open.
The first time.
Watch
And
the guy
then
get
many
fucking
times.
mauled by a bear. Yeah, I know, right?
Now my
Think you told me
Fridays.
about the first time I experienced that.
Then there was that movie, what was it? Which Indiana Jones was it, where it was like...
Oh, they eat the
and then
monkey
there was
brains.
Clue, where he was like... monkey
Yeah, Raiders of the
brains.
Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Tim Curry in Clue, live action. Oh,
Who
so
are
good.
popular in Cantonese cuisine.
That's how he was
So good.
Not likely to be found in Washington, D.C.
Dude,
Monkey's
you have no
brains.
idea how many times I've said that we should film a 5-minute clip of Clue, but it's all of us to play during
Yeah.
the break.
Just a
Totally
dinner
did.
scene.
Oh
Just
my
a
God.
dinner
Right,
scene,
yeah.
or the end where they're counting the
you
bullets.
have no idea how many
2
times
plus 1
we've
plus
talked
1
about
plus
it.
1 plus 1
Fucking
plus
good.
1.
You have no idea
Are
how
you
many
guys in?
times.
Let's
Best
do it.
movies of all time.
How many times we have
I
discussed
hated
who
that
would
movie. I
play
was like, get out of
who?
my
Who
face.
would play
The
who?
singing telegram.
How can you hate that?
Oh, green.
Who gets to shoot stones?
A singing telegram.
Yeah, somebody told me that they did not like that movie. I was like, you're
How
wrong.
could you
That's
not?
that's not a
That's
matter of
blasphemy.
opinion.
That's a movie they
Thank you.
cannot
That's
remake.
just fact.
Never.
You don't
Oh,
I
never
believe
wrong.
they are remaking
No.
it. I believe they are doing
You
it.
can't do it without Tim Curry.
Oh my God, Tim
You can't do
Curry's
it
so
without
good.
any
But
of those actors.
that's
They're
that
like all
kid-
the perfect
That
pieces.
kid who
Gallo's
played
like the
the
most
new
frazzled
It
bitch.
clown
Like, every
was
one of them
better.
was so good.
He was better.
Who?
The kid who played the new It clown
Skarsgård.
was
Oh,
better
Pennywise?
than Tim Curry.
I disagree.
It's a Skarsgård. I don't
It's just a
remember which
very
one.
different
Disagree.
Yeah.
Pennywise.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
hard to kind of gauge them. They're on 2 different worlds. Like
It's
one
the
of them's
only
actual
book I
like
ever
analog
read
acting. The other
from
one's like a lot of
end
CGI.
Yeah.
Although the-
You know what my
Clowns,
favorite
it's like
Tim
a
Curry
different
movie
Joker,
is?
man. It's
My
the same
favorite Tim
character.
Curry
Legend.
But, you
is
know, they're
not
playing their own
Rocky
shit.
Horror Picture
Oh,
Show.
Frankfurt.
The
It
Legend.
has to be.
Legend.
But the role he played in Oscar with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh my
I haven't seen that
God.
movie.
When he was the linguist. Remember?
I haven't seen it.
You have a
Yeah, the one that
dangling
gets
participle.
chosen to marry his daughter.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You a dangling participle.
That movie
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
It's
From
It's
Being a Dead
probably
Man.
the best Stallone movie I've
Yeah.
ever seen in my entire life.
That's saying
It was
something.
that. Yeah. Well, that's. Is it what movie?
Oscar.
It was in that
It's got
like
Marissa
it was in
Tomei
that like
too.
13-year gap where they were all
Oh,
about gangster movies. And
Right.
like,
It's like a parody of that almost.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
it was like
But
a
better than
Johnny
parody.
Dangerously, except
Yes,
Johnny
but
Dangerously
better.
was
Yeah.
amazing.
Johnny Dangerously is amazing.
only when they're ripping the car cover off and they're like,
Yeah.
Bunnies and duckies.
You
my mother
fucking
called me that
sneaky
once, Johnny.
bastards.
Once.
Once.
The last of Joe Piscopo.
Yeah,
only Joe
man.
Okay? Sad.
God, he was good though. Holy fuck. So what else, man? What else is going on? What do you have?
What happened here?
What do you have to
We
promote or
left off
talk
with the
about
around
that's
the board
going on
where
in
Rick
your life?
introduced himself and then
Yeah.
we went to people who
I know. Nobody else introduced themselves.
It's okay. That's where we are.
All right, so I've got a bunch of stuff.
Damien, this is Tim Crew. Sorry.
Okay. Camino Pirate Radio is my podcast. It's all about Star Wars, so check it out.
Oh, cool.
It's a bit older, but it's still fun stuff. I do English
Where do people
professor
find
stuff. Podbean, but you can also find it on Apple.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a bunch of me doing English professor semiotic looks at Star Wars movies. So
Cool.
it gets pretty cool, I think. My comic book company, I own a comic book company called Pulsar, and you can find them at Pulsar Entertainment. My comic on there is called Fireproof, and we're in episode 3 of that. That's coming out. And I'm writing a novel, which has got nothing else other than me writing. So that's basically what I'm up to.
Do we love you?
When your novel is done, will you come and do a book reading?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. It's
What's
a lot
the
of.
novel about?
The novel is
I mean, not the whole
semi-autobiographical.
book. Well,
It's about
you
a
can do
kid
a
in the
whole book. What else you
70s
doing?
who tries to kill his own father. So it's all
Wait,
crazy.
can you say that again? Because Stones was talking.
It's set in 1979.
Called out. Damn, Stones.
Well, it's the whiskey.
Hey, no more of this for you.
Oh,
Then
no.
he
I'm fine with
empties
that.
the bottle
Yeah,
and just starts drinking it.
No more of
outside.
this is for you.
Yeah, I have to
12
ensure
years.
no
I'm
one
gonna go
for
with
you.
Tiki Leonardo.
Yeah.
12 years right there.
Dr. Marchie.
Isn't it Tiki Leonardo? Or
Go ahead, you continue. I'm sorry.
The novel. The novel is called Runner in the Dark. It's set in 1979. It's about a 10-year-old kid who gets involved with stealing money from some bikers. There used to be bikers that would come from Georgia up to Seaside, and they'd have a shitload of money, and then they would trade weed for money and go north. It was sort of on their route. And when I was a kid, you sort of always knew, don't go around there at this time. So it's a little based on that, and it's a realistic one. First time ever haven't written a Tolkien-like book, so I'm pretty proud of it. It's coming out well. It needs one more chapter, and then I'm gonna send it out to folks and hopefully get a publisher or publish it myself.
Cool.
So
Where do you want people to go to find you? Is there any place that you're comfortable with putting out there? Like some place you want people to
My
find
house?
you?
Yeah, I
No,
need,
no, no, no,
I need,
no,
I
no,
need links to that comic
Where do you
company
live?
stat. Where can I
Comic
find
company.
you?
It's www.pulsar-entertainment.com, and we do a lot of fun stuff. And there's some weird comics on there too. And yeah, so I'm on Facebook and other things like that. So you can look at Pulsar on Facebook and things of that nature. So Pulsar-entertainment.
Cool.
Thank you for giving me a plug.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Erin Incoherent, thank you so much for being here tonight. What is going on? You are working on an album right now. I know that you were working with Analog Trenton and Bill Nobes, who was here a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and he brought vinyl.
And
I have
yes,
it in the bar.
you have it in the bar. Can you
It
pull
was
that out for just
reflecting
a
lights,
second?
so I had to hide.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Matt, can we get that up on the screen there?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, that's boom. Wow.
Does it look nice and clear?
It actually does.
Do I look good behind
He
you?
says.
Boom.
That's a lot of vanity, Rick.
All right, well, whatever. Thank you. So anyway,
Should really let the guest hold the prize.
I'm living with him right now.
so what's
I see
going on with it? Talk
all
about
day.
the album. What's happening?
Okay, so in November, I had this vision, and I was watching a podcast with Mike Tyson and Snoop Dogg, and they were really high, and they were talking about, I forgot actually how the conversation went, but Snoop Dogg was talking about how he was smoking weed with Willie Nelson in Amsterdam on 420. Playing dominoes, getting his ass kicked at dominoes, and this was happening between the two of them, and that's when this whole thing happened to me. I was like, no dream is too big. No dream is too big. You know how fucking ridiculous it was for this kid to grow up in Compton without any fucking he just was like, I want to smoke weed with Willie Nelson in Amsterdam on 420 and play dominoes. That's so fucking specific, and then that happened. So at that time I was like, I don't know, it was like a ringing a bell. Quit your fucking job, move out of Philadelphia, move into the studio, get to fucking work on the album. I was like, okay. So that's what I did. And I'm living with Bill Nobes now, and we've done over 100 pre-production hours on the album. We've put in about 48 and a half on actual recording time. We've got most of the drums tracked. We just brought in Nikki Nailbaum for cello and for some bass on some tracks. We've had a difficult time finding a bassist though, so we just bought a bass the other day. And I'm gonna start tracking that, see how it goes. I found out like on the 4th of this month that I had vocal nodes, and those are like little growths.
Right?
Yeah.
That sucks.
So I haven't been able to sing, so this will be my first time singing in the new year, and it's just been this really kind of like introspective, soul-searching ride. It's crazy. Like I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, but this is like the hardest work I've ever done, and it's just like getting through every day feeling positive and grateful at the end of it. You know, like I don't have anything but the album that I'm trying my hardest to work on. All of my resources are going toward it, so if it fails, then I accept I failed, you know? So it can't fail. It's not going to fail. And I'm just kind of like learning to redefine how my mind's been wired my whole life and like how susceptible I've been to everything. Because also I was like, drop off of social media. Just, I don't want to be found. I don't want to be talking to other people and all the constant chatter. I feel like I have to give people my attention all the fucking time. Because if I don't see them doing their good things or support them doing their good things, then I'm not a good friend. And that's not true, but it's just like kind of where society's going. So it's just been a lot of, it's cool to like talk about this. Is like the most social interaction I've really had in several weeks, and I don't know. I earlier just happened to be on social media. I was looking for a message to send my friend who's not, who can't take texts right now, and happened to see the message asking for me to be on tonight. So it's just like, cool. This seems like perfect timing. You know, I've just been kind of like working on. And one of the things is also like being sober too. So like being in an environment where I have to say no, like it's my choice, and that's just like something I have to do.
Wow.
So just not having
I had
scotch.
no idea
like,
that that's what you're doing, man. You know
that's,
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. Good for you, man.
Because I don't want the like I want to show myself I can do this, you know. So like choosing to go to jiu-jitsu is like a mile and a half away from the studio, but I don't want to lose it. I don't want to fall off with it. Like I moved from Philly, so it's an hour north. So it's like in the neighborhood, but there's nothing translates out here. It's like we're in Wrightstown, New Jersey, so that is even 30 minutes from here. Like we're in the woods, we're in nowhere. Yeah. And then it's like Japanese jiu-jitsu, not Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So it's like I'm being challenged across the board in every way, just to kind of like level up and focus, and it's cool.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What is some music that you are listening to now that you think people wouldn't expect?
Okay, so Bill Nobes and I really like to put on the Jesus Christ Superstar soundtrack. It's like historically been one of my favorite. It's like such a it's incredible. It's a rock opera. It's written just beautifully. It's from like Judas's perspective. I love that like kind of that nuanced character. You know, the person who forces you to see the kind of hypocrisy in humanity. Like everyone's gonna have to step on toes eventually. That kind of shit. I love like the Fratellis. They're an Italian pop band. I've been listening to like, aren't they good?
No, I'm just thinking about the Goonies reference.
Oh my god. Well, they're actually Italian. Makes more sense. I've been listening to a lot of Swedish punk too. Youth Avoiders, like Terrible Feelings. I love indie music. So like on the way over here, I was listening to like Milky Chance and X Ambassadors. It's like the whole gambit. Like I love punk rock. I love stuff I can sing along to. I don't know what I feel like people just expect me to listen to nothing but screamy music all the time, so I feel like it surprises them that I listen to other shit, but I don't think it's that novel, you know, like, plenty of people have complex music tastes, and a lot of people will just, like, lie about shit, and then a lot of people will start liking shit, like, 8 years later, that you've been repping the whole time, and now suddenly it's cool, so they get fucking, like, you know, retro points for it. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, right, you get no retro points. Exactly,
no retro
points. No retro points, I love that. That's exactly right. So where can people find you online? What should people be looking for?
Just Erin Incoherent. You can search the name on Spotify, Pandora, Instagram, Bandcamp, Facebook, Twitter. It's all Erin Incoherent. Medusa's out and streaming everywhere. And the next album that we're working on now is called Deja Vu. And I'll play a few songs from that later on.
Cool. Great. Yes, you were going to perform tonight, which is awesome. So, we have one more thing I want to do before we cut to the second break. And during the second break, we're going to switch the studio over to a performance space. And Erin Incoherent is going to perform tonight.
Can I promote something?
Yeah, please promote something, dude.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So, I haven't promoted in a while.
No.
Because we've been on fucking hiatus.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're playing our first show.
Who's where? Tell the people.
Suspect is playing their first show in quite some time. We have a female bassist for the first time. We got a new bassist. She's fucking killing it. And we're playing in Bristol, PA. at Noble Earth on Saturday with Nikki Nailbaum.
Fuck.
And Under 95.
No shit. I love those kids.
Our guitarist started another band called Witch. They're going to be performing.
Cool.
And we're playing about 6 songs off the album that we're just about to put out. It'll be released hopefully in the next, say, 45 days or so,
Awesome,
if we can
man.
get together. We got all new merch. We're back on the drive to put out another full-length album, and so if you want to come out, we're playing at Noble Earth. I believe the show starts 6:30, all ages.
What's the date again?
January 25th, Noble Earth. Again,
Bristol.
Unsold Food. Unsold Food will be selling vegan products there.
Cool.
If you haven't been to Noble Earth before, it's a great little establishment in Bristol. They have a coffee shop. They always have different things going on. Skate shops go in
We
there
should
and
go.
promote their material. Fucking
Yeah, man.
breweries come out and sell
Sounds
their
good
beer
to me.
there. But it'll be us, Nikki Nailbaum, Under 95, Witch Splatterhouse had to come off the show from New York. They're a great fucking band too. But we'll be out there, and then we're going to start taking some shows.
And where can people find you online? Where should people look?
Suspect732 on Instagram, Suspect5 on Bandcamp, and we'll be updating all of the social media and everything soon to come, as soon as we get all kinds of new merch and everything else up to go. But we should have a full length, hopefully. I'm trying to push the band to put another full length out in about a year. We have enough material. It's just a matter of rewriting everything and refocusing everything. But we have an EP coming out again. 6-song, nice little bomber that we did, and hopefully we can get it released and we'll do a local record drop here. I think we're gonna probably do it at the brewery or somewhere local in Asbury.
Cool, man.
But yeah, it'll be a show we haven't played out in a while, and it's good to be back on stage.
Awesome, man.
No doubt. Sorry to take away from the time.
No, you're fine, dude.
Awesome.
95 are my fucking homies. Those kids rule.
The Amorphous.
Yes, Devin.
No, under 95.
Devin
under
says she
95,
loves
yeah.
Nikki. Carl Callan, what's up, man?
Everyone
My
loves
friends,
Nikki.
I
She's the
love
best.
Awesome Talk. We love you too, man. Damien, right? My mind is cleaner now. So here's the deal. We have one more thing I want to do before we cut to the second break.
My
and
mind
like
is
I said,
clear now. I just got that.
during the second break, we're going to transform this place into a performance space, and then we'll come back. We're going to do a quick, 30-second sound check, and then Erin Incoherent's going to do 2 songs for us, which is fucking amazing. So, we have this thing we reserve for guests called the final word, okay? And this time I have some inspiration for the final word. My friend Gregory Andrus from Portraits of the Jersey Shore has been posting pictures of these questions that he gets from these cards that he's been playing with his family. Some of them are really fucking great, right? So, for the final word, I'm going to ask you first, Jack.
Okay.
What are you most proud of from the last 12 months of your life?
Most proud of
Yeah.
the last 12 months of my life. Well, it's difficult to answer off the top of my head. I was a pretty good damn husband and a pretty good damn father, so those always fall in there. And I'd have to put those there or I'll get in a lot of shit. But I really like my book. And I'm really proud that I put myself into a position where I could finish something that I said I was going to fucking finish, and I finished it. And I'm ready to rock. So I'm proud of that for myself, is making a goal and setting it, staying with it, doing that.
Awesome.
How long did it take? When did you start the writing?
I started January 1st, 2019.
So a year ago, over a year ago.
Yeah,
That's
almost
awesome.
almost a full year ago. I wanted to get it done in that, and I really had a very big rush of doing a lot early, and then it sort of fell apart when I got to really hard parts, because sometimes you're writing and it's kind of taken out of your life, and it's a conversation that maybe you had or wanted to have, and I sort of hit a wall there, and I'm like, I should have fucking said that. And then after you get over that, now I'm really rolling with it, and thanks again, my wife is awesome, and she was just like, fucking do it, stop being a pussy about it, and so I finished it.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Erin Incoherent, what are you most proud of in the last 12 months?
Harnessing more mental strength, definitely. I'm diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and it can be really hard to get through an hour without huge spikes and severe lows. And I've just been the past 7 months every day practicing gratitude. It started with just writing 2 pages, and then it came down to 1 page because I needed some fucking free time throughout the day of things that I was grateful for. Just counting my blessings and turning my negative mindset into a more positive one, and really starting to believe in myself and my voice. It's everyday invasive work, but I'm starting to really be able to kind of relax more and take more steps forward without fearing where I'm going, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I'm most proud of.
All right. Well, thank you, and thank you so much for being here. Now, folks, so here's what's going to happen next. So you should like this, and you should do all this other shit, and share it for sure. So what's going to happen is we're going to take another break. You're going to hear a performance from Dan Mulqueen, who was here with his hand pans, which is really amazing. And then my old drummer Keith was here, and he talked about living through cancer and what you could do to help right now. So that's there. And while you're watching that, we're going to be starting to transform this place into the performance space. And when you come back, Erin Incoherent's going to perform for us. So please don't go anywhere. Hit like and tell everybody to watch this shit.
Oh,
and what's up?
Someone asked Jack what the genre.
Genre of the book.
Thriller.
Thriller. Go.
Thriller.
Ba-da-dum-bum. Ba-da-dum-bum.
Awesome, man.
That's hey, okay.
I am completely wrong. You're right.
Let me know we're out, dude. And then we're
Proud
going to
to
cut to
miss my
break.
Michael
And then we're going to start turning it into a performance space.
I don't know.
So this first new one is called Head Down. So it goes like this. Thanks.
Damn. So, you have been through a lot of shit in the last few years.
Yes.
And you've told me a lot of different stories about things that have happened to you and good things that have come of it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if you would like to share any of that.
Okay, well, for the audience out there that doesn't know, I'm in remission from cancer. I've had 2 bouts now. Germ cell tumor or yolk sac tumor. Essentially, it's just a really sticky, nasty tumor that can form anywhere in your body. It's under the testicular family, but it has nothing really to do with like what people think of testicular cancer. I had a nasty mass got up to about the size of a softball on my heart and left lung a few years back. Another one a couple months later on my tailbone, which I still kind of have, but I'm in remission for now just over 3 years. But as a result of this terrible thing that happened to me, I met some amazing people, became a part of a couple different communities. One is called For Pete's Sake. I'm actually going to meet a bunch of them tomorrow night. We're going to a California pizza kitchen in the Christiana Mall at I think it's in Newark or Christiana, Delaware, but it's the Christiana Mall there. CPK is doing a deal where if you bring in a flyer or show them, anything from the For Pete's Sake event, they're going to put 20% of the meal towards this organization. Now, what For Pete's Sake does is they send cancer patients and their caregivers and family on a vacation. They sent my wife and I to Davenport, Florida for a week, put us up in our own house alone.
Wow.
With someone to check in on us next door, so if we needed them, we can call. But the whole idea is to give you and your family a chance to reconnect and what they say, take a break from cancer. Their website's actually takeabreakfromcancer.org. But they sent us to Davenport, Florida. They sent families to Atlantic City, to the Poconos. If you have a passport, when you get nominated to go there, they can send you to Jamaica, to Cancun. They just want you to take some time with your family and not have to deal with doctors or infusions or any of that crap just for a week. And they've helped out, I believe, over 10,000 people at this point. Their goal for this fiscal year, 2019 into 2020, is 190 families. They formed about 20 years ago now when their founder, Marcy, and her husband, Pete, For Pete's Sake. Pete was diagnosed with cancer. He actually had my current oncologist, which I found out recently, which is pretty cool.
That's weird. That's crazy.
Unfortunately, Pete passed away, but in his honor, Marcy has been keeping this foundation going for 20 years and trying to help as many families as possible just take a break. I fully believe in them. I've been an advocate for them now for about 3 years. About 3 years. I speak to people about cancer, about opportunities for young adults. And, I talked about how all I wanted to do was play music when I was younger. Now all I want to do is help spread the message for opportunities for young adults facing cancer or other diseases, to find organizations like For Pete's Sake. Now there's another side to this too. I'm also repping First Descents. As you can see by everything I'm wearing here, their slogan is outliving it. I joke around that it's the exact opposite of For Pete's Sake. They don't want you to take a break from cancer. They want you to push yourself beyond your limits in spite of cancer. So we go surfing, we go rock climbing, ice climbing, kayaking, safaris, yoga, whatever challenge you want to take on, First Descents is there for you. It's called Challenge by Choice. So they don't push you to do anything you don't want to do. You feel like you can handle this, or even if you just want to see if you can handle it, First Descents offers you opportunities. They have helped, I think close to 15,000 people now.
Wow.
Since 2000. Next year is their 20th anniversary. They're trying to do a giant Wayne's World style festival in Colorado for all the people who have gone. It's basically like a giant gathering of people who have had cancer, still fighting cancer, or been touched by cancer in some way. There's going to be music. There's going to be art. There's going to be kayaking, rock climbing. It's just going to be a 3-day crazy festival and probably the largest gathering of people with cancer in the country. But I'm hoping to go this year. I'm trying to raise some money to do so. But I want to go back and just see my friends because they sent me out to Montana a few years ago with 19 other cancer patients. I spent a week in the middle of the wilderness learning how to kayak from, not kidding, the world record holder for waterfall drop.
That's a badass motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Here's the thing.
Big balls.
He set that record in 2007. He still holds the record.
Oh shit. Yeah,
It was like 190 some feet he jumped. He hit so hard it snapped his paddle in half.
You like bash into him with the fucking kayak, like, you gonna do it now? You gonna do it today?
I actually messed with him, like, you know TJ Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what he sounds like the guy from Deadpool?
Yeah.
This dude sounds exactly like TJ Miller. And I was messing with him, I was like, you sound exactly like TJ Miller. He's like, nah, dude. TJ Miller sounds like me. I'm like, that's something TJ Miller would say.
Are you sure you're not him?
Yeah. But he was really humble about it. He didn't mention it at all. It was one of the other instructors who told me about it. And I went back to I was actually sleeping in a yurt for the week.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
open air yurt for a week in Montana. But I went, like, looked up on my phone, like, his video. I watched the drop. You can look it up. It's only like a 4-minute video, but you see him, like, go and then drop and foam and seconds go by and he is not there. And then he, like, casually, like, paddles out with half a paddle and is perfectly fine.
Wow, holy shit, man.
And now he just goes around the world kayaking professionally, trying to break world records.
Damn.
But that's First Ascents. That's a person I got to meet, because I got cancer, but because there's a community out there for people like me. Right. So whether you want to take a break from cancer or whether you want to push yourself in spite of the cancer, there are organizations out there for you. There's other organizations that help do advocacy, like Fuck Cancer and Stupid Cancer. There's CancerCon, gatherings for people to get together to talk about what you're going through. I belong to communities online through First Amends, like local tributaries they call it, but people in the area I can get together with. I went to a rock climbing gym for the first time with these people probably about 6 months ago or so. That was hard. But we just get together, have a few hours of fun, go out to lunch after and talk. And we keep in touch online, but hopefully some of them can make it out next year to the Colorado thing. But if you know someone, actually, you do know someone out there. There is someone you talk to, or someone who you talk to's sibling, or cousin who has cancer, who's my age, who just could use a break in one way or another, or is just tired of, how are you? How are you feeling? They just want to know that despite having this, they can still go out there and push their limits, really. I was joking that, when I went out there to kayak, I learned that I could no longer swim when I was on the river in the rapids.
Oh, shit. What a place to learn.
I had lost so much muscle mass from my cisplatin treatment that I could no longer.
Here comes this psychopath just fucking
doing backflips in the paddle, half a paddle and shit.
When the kayak goes from this to this, and you're still going, all you can do is pull out and then just flail. But you know what? I wouldn't have known about this whole community if I didn't get cancer. And there's a lot of people out there who still don't know about this. So, you guys, you know someone who could benefit from one of these two organizations. For Pete's sake, 24 to 55. Take a break from cancer. You want a challenge? 18 to 39 is first ascents.
Wow.
Young adults with cancer, 2 different category, like definitions of what a young adult is, but great organizations out there, both for about 20 years, who are doing amazing things.
It sounds like good places to donate to too.
Yes, unlike Susan G. Komen,
That's what I was about to say.
who puts about 18% of their stuff back into research.
Right.
First Ascents, I just read their report from 2018, put 69% of all the money they took in back into these programs. And another, like, I think 17 or so percent was also in development for the programs too.
Wow.
Only $233,000 total dollars for that year went to administration and staff out of like 3.6 million or something.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. It's all out there on the website. They put everything out for their financials. You can see how many people they've helped. Same with For Pete's Sake.
Cool.
They do an open meeting. Anyone who wants to attend to listen to their financial meetings, you can come sit and listen how much they invest. So help someone out there. Just tell them to Google. Like, just look for young adult cancer organizations, young adult cancer opportunities, young adult cancer vacations. Just look on Google. There's something in your area.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
1, what is something about cancer that you wish people knew around you?
That cancer doesn't end when you go into remission. Everyone likes to think, oh, you're better. Oh, things are easy now. I can't believe you beat that. I didn't beat cancer. Cancer is my life now. From the day I got diagnosed to the day I do die, I'm fighting cancer. The only way you can survive cancer is when something else kills you. And I'm not joking about that. You will always be in remission. You will always get scanxiety. That's what they, refer to it as, like your blood tests when you know you're coming up to it, your CAT scans. You feel like any moment you can relapse back into it. I've had to go to a therapist now for the first time in my life because, as I've been told, I have PTSD from cancer.
Sure.
Like, you don't think about that.
Hyper anxiety.
Like,
I think it's really sad that medical induced PTSD is like a really under researched part of PTSD. It's really only been in the past couple years that psychologists have said like this should be its own category. And it's like people with chronic illnesses and people with cancer and everything, they've known for years and years that PTSD can form from medical induced trauma, but the mental illness community, professionals have yet to really catch up to a point where like there's a lot of doctors that specialize specifically in PTSD for people that had it because of medical trauma.
I was, in my personal experience, I was first hospitalized in 2015, the day before Thanksgiving. I didn't get, I wasn't considered in remission officially until the Saturday before Election Day 2016. In that year span, actually less than a year, so that would be like around November 5th or 6th I was released. I was put in the hospital the day before Thanksgiving, which is let's say the 4th Wednesday of the month because it was the day before.
Sure.
So in less than a year's time, I spent 111 days either in a hospital or at a cancer center getting infusions, blood transfusions, or something related to my cancer. People don't know. I mean, Susan G. Komen's whole business is we're raising awareness about cancer, about breast cancer. Who doesn't know about breast cancer today?
Right.
Help us look into research.
Yeah.
Help us look into better ways of increasing survival rates. But I didn't know before. I'm sorry, I'm wrapping back to your question.
That's okay.
I didn't know before I got cancer that once you're considered in remission, all that means is you don't have active tumor, like raised tumor markers today.
Right.
And that tomorrow I might, or next year I might. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to be thinking in the back of my head, what happens if I go for my next scan and it's there again? Can I make it through it a third time? What happens if I get that blood test result and my AFP markers are, normal range is 1 to 10. are in the 200s.
Right.
I mean, when I finally got diagnosed, it was over 2,400. But
damn,
there are people like me out there right now, and people like me, how I was struggling before I officially got diagnosed, who already have something wrong with them, but they're either too scared to get it checked out, or the doctor didn't take them seriously. Like in my case, they kept telling me, oh, it's a sports injury. Oh, you pulled a muscle. Oh, you slept wrong.
Well, could have presented that way. Yeah. They're just reading it off a script.
But they never wanted to listen when I said, no, something is really wrong. I can feel it inside. And there are people out there that just pass that off as like, oh, no, you're right. And then it wasn't until I started coughing up blood. Sorry to get that graphic with it.
No, of course.
Like I was literally coughing up blood. And then they're like, oh, we think you have an unruptured aneurysm. That's not it, but at least it got me into the hospital. Then I was told I had, I think, lymphoma next, which I didn't have.
They tend to overdiagnose lymphoma. I got a false lymphoma positive.
Well, they knew something was wrong, and it's very common though, and because
it presents itself in a lot.
It prevents itself in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I had a very rare cancer, so it's not. I'm not going to blame the people in the ER for not knowing what this is. I mean, the oncologist didn't even quite know until it was sent out for a biopsy. But yeah. Man, I'm rambling on that.
No, dude.
I just want people to know that cancer doesn't end the day someone goes in remission. That they're always going to spend their lives thinking about it. I'm on disability now as a result of my cancer and my treatment. I have severe peripheral neuropathy. I had to go to physical therapy for almost 7 months just learning to walk right again. I can't really... I mean, I'm trying to work right now, but it's a struggle. I'm taking a lot of medicines at the moment, and even more today of gabapentin than I did when I had cancer.
Right.
Just because trying to get to work and sit in a chair all day. Grams of gabapentin and a second medicine now to cope. So I'm spending all these times. I'm still going to doctors just about every month. I'm seeing my oncologist now every 6 months. Finally, I just got to the 6-month point, but it just never ends. I'm always going to a different doctor, just like when I had cancer. My cancer was active, I should say.
Yeah.
Check, check. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Check, check. Check, 1, 2. Check, check. Chickity, check, check, checked. Choked.
Can you play guitar and sing a little?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it. Try the truth, but there's a reason, 'cause everyone's a heathen. No, no one feels better. Keep going.
What, can you do that one more time?
Yeah. 'Cause if you see what I see, way the emotions like tsunamis, you change your perspective before you got buried in pain.
I'm just gonna introduce you. Is that cool?
Yep.
So everybody, I would have been like, okay, that's cool too.
You got an answer for everything.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you, everybody, for watching Awesome Talk this evening. Season 12, Episode 7 on January 21st, 2020. I want to say thank you very much to Jack for being here tonight, man. One more round of applause for Jack. So check that out. And I want to thank Erin, Incoherent, for being here tonight. She came through in the clutch and was amazing all night. And I think tonight we're going to have a great performance. Just 2 songs?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So let me get around over there and get positioned, and then we'll be ready to go.
Perfect. Oh, just let me,
Yep, okay,
and then
we're going.
in and out of the way. I kicked the stage light too.
That's okay.
All right, good. That's the kind of attitude I like. So I wanted to plug this song just speak a little bit about it before I started playing. It's called Of Roaches and Roommates. It's currently unreleased. You can find versions of it on Facebook and on YouTube. This song was written a little under a year ago. I lost my roommate, Bonnie, to a heroin overdose. And the song is speaking about people who are also maybe going through the same things or trying to filter through the grief of losing somebody to an overdose. I want to make a user content submitted music video for this, so I'm asking people who would like to try to help commemorate those that they've lost to an overdose. Email content. It can be pictures, maybe poetry, video, to roachesvideo@gmail.com, or actually I think it's Yahoo. Let me double check because I haven't checked it in a while, but we have already gotten some people who've mailed content to it. I would just like to try to make a statement for humanizing instead of stigmatizing the topic of substance abuse. It's roachesvideo@yahoo.com. So if that's something that you would like to help take a stand with and commemorate those that you've lost, that would be the email to send. Again, this one is called Of Roaches and Roommates. Said I'm with it, and I'm down to kick it. Let's forget all the dumb bullshit and just get lifted. I said that I'm sorry, now while you're down to party, roll just up, let's flip the lid and get it started, yeah. And you're climbing near my window when you leave the door locked. And you're calling me a bitch now when you're in too hot. Wait a minute, get a grip now before you get the nerve to put the pedal to the floor and make a wrong turn. Nine, 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 no. Nine, 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 no. You said it sucks, bet you $5 man. I call up Chicken Nugget Girl and then we're gonna fuck. I said it's nice to see us laugh and think about the past, cause spring is on its way and this last winter's kicked our ass, man. Trash can. Start smoking in the basement, drinking Old Crow. And we tuned up the Ibanez so we could sing every song we know. Cause Bonnie didn't have to die, man, but she shot up. Slick said he didn't have the Narcan, but we can't trust that fuck. No, we can't trust him. Nine, 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 no. Nine, 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 no. She told us how she liked to go and see the dope kid. We told her no, I guess she thought we all were joking. The story splits from there in time he found her in his bed, but by the time the paramedics came, they did all that they could, yeah. So now we're hanging up your pictures over a blank sheet, and our friends are coming over, bringing enough to eat. Your things fit in 2 big boxes we sent down to New Orleans. We'll reimburse for the postage, but not for future unseen. So now I'm smoking in the basement, and I'm trying to figure how I'm fucking supposed to make rent. Wondering since you died if you would change how all your time was spent. Cause I don't wanna die, I wanna change how my time was spent. Thank you. Oof. I'm excited to sing again without it fucking hurting. It's like my own personal hell. I had to cut some notes of that short. So I'm gonna sing another one that doesn't have as many notes that I need to reach in such a powerful way. It's called The Storm. This is also on Deja Vu. I'm Erin Incoherent. Thank you very much for having me. This has been an awesome talk, an awesome experience. And I'm sure you hear that all the time, but it's because y'all are doing a good fucking job. Oh, they say there's a story
say there's a storm coming for you. And I hope you lock your door. And I hope that what they say ain't true. 'Cause if it is, boy, there's a storm coming for you. And don't you tell me no more lies, no, I want the truth. 'Cause both you and I know that I deserve the truth. 'Cause you led me on to believe for over 6 fucking weeks that I guess loving you at all was like loving a ghost. 'Cause we take 2 steps and clearly we're going nowhere. We're just wasting all our time. We must be a side of confusion, or maybe just a sight for sore eyes. Oh, by now I've learned a thing or two, but that's bound to happen when you've got nobody else but you. So I know where I'm going when I feel that cold wind blowing. Like I say, that's 'cause by now I've learned a thing or two. Like you don't shit where you eat my fucking heart out. You'll swear you should have been warned. I thought it was common knowledge. Hell, have no fury like a woman scorned. Two, three, ow. And I hope that when the rain comes for you, you're a little too late, just a little too late to find your way back home. And away you are swept away, the hurt and the pain and the grief and the shame that you left me. On the day that you left me. But we both know it was long before then. So bring the thunder and the rain. This storm is bringing a change. I ain't afraid for me, but boy, I swear I'm glad that I ain't you. I'm glad that I ain't you.
So I want to thank everybody again one more time for being here tonight. One more round of applause for Erin Incoherent tonight, please. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Follow us all over the place. We're on TikTok now, as you heard us discuss earlier. So go TikTok us and all that other shit on social media. And
That's really what they call it? TikToking you?
I don't know. Now they do, for sure.
You heard
So
it
come
first.
TikTok us, all right? Come TikTok us. Anyways. All right. So thank you so much for watching. And thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Nevermore-Designs.com. We have new mugs coming out soon, and you will see them soon. All right. So let's just close it out now before I slap this microphone one more time. And, we got to do the outro.